T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hello, this is J. Robert Oppenheimer, and you are watching I Don't Get It, featuring Apass and ZodWriter. Please like, share, and subscribe.
Here we are for another episode of I Don't Get It. Oh, hello, Apass.
Yes. Hello, Zod. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. We have a great show planned tonight. We've got a lot of epic topics to talk about. Well, you know what? I won't say we have a lot of epic topics to talk about because we're both pretty ticked off when it comes to a lot of the stuff we're about to talk about. And as the thumbnail suggests, we've got James Gunn on one side and Gal Gadot on the other side. It's so cool how our thumbnail always kind of it just sort of puts us in a pretty interesting space. And we got Nessa here. I'm so thankful that we have Nessa here always.
Yes.
Everybody, this is fantastic. I made Nessa a mod for our channel for I Don't Get It, and this is gonna be a big one. Wow. I'm
scorched earth.
Scorched earth. And we've been see this is why we go every other week, because it gives us time to build up so many topics, and it just works out.
It always does. Like literally the following day. What was it? Last 2 Sundays ago, or maybe Monday. Maybe it was the following Monday after.
No, it was the next day, right after our show. It was the very next day. We did it. Remember, we did it Saturday. It was that Sunday, because you said to me, you texted me and said, "Hey, look what happened when Zack came out and put out his tweet about Blue Beetle."
Yes, that's right. It was Sunday. Yeah. Oh my God. See, the day after, and it's just been building up. Like you said, it builds up. Yeah. It seems to be working out that way every time. So,
and we were both like, well, if Zack would have just did that yesterday, we could have talked about it.
Right.
We had just missed it. So I guess that's the first topic we can start with. We can start with Zack Snyder endorsing this incoming turd at the box office that we know is not going to make any money. They could have any religious figure you can think of come down and bless this movie from the heavens, and the movie will still not make any money. I guarantee it. Nobody cares right now. Okay, James Gunn has ruined DC for the masses. Real DC fans, right? In air quotes, don't even care about. They don't care about it. And nobody's gonna go see this. No one.
No. I'm not even like, even when Zack, endorsed it, I was like, I'm still not seeing this movie. I'm sorry, I'm not. Like, it's just like the trailer. Once again, it was like the Flash for me. Like no offense, I'm not insulting anyone that liked the Flash, but I'm just saying, like, for me, each trailer of the Flash that dropped, I felt the same feeling that I did after seeing the movie. So and it's the same thing with Blue Beetle. Like, I'm not wasting money. I'm not giving that studio any more freaking time and resources anymore. I'm not. So,
with you 100%. I have no desire to see Blue Beetle. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like, because Zack Snyder is endorsing it, that I all of a sudden want to go see the movie and I'm hyped. I've heard the director speak, and if the director would have shut up and would not have said anything and would have stayed off social media, would not have interviewed anybody. You see, I got more respect right now for Greta Gerwig, for Barbie, than I do for the director whose name I don't even know for Blue Beetle. I'm not even going to bother to look it up. That's how much I don't think this movie is going to go anywhere. This movie is going to flop worse than The Flash, and that's real talk.
It is, but the power of Zack Snyder, though, the fact that it was tracking 12 to 17 million, and then after his tweet, it like doubled. That doesn't say anything to the powers that be in Hollywood that have something against Zack. It's like, literally, the dude is like, he would literally make you guys so much more money than anything this freaking asshole, sorry, James Gunn, will do for them. Like, I said scorched earth, so I'm gonna be dropping a lot of things today.
Oh yeah. This show is probably gonna get demonetized for a number of reasons. It doesn't matter because it's not like I really make any money off these shows or streams anyway. That's not why these streams are done. That's not why Apass and I are here. The point is that there's a lot to be said, and James Gunn is responsible for all of it. So I have to ask you, Apass, why did Zack Snyder come out and endorse Blue Beetle of all movies? We know he's friends with Ezra Miller. We know that's Ezra. They're his buddy, like James Gunn, his buddy. So why would Zack Snyder come out and endorse Blue Beetle, knowing it's a hunk of crap, knowing that nobody's going to go see it? You're not going to get any of the Snyder only fans to go see it. You're not going to get us to see it. You're not going to get the Cell crowd to go see it. The only people that you're going to get to go see it are the ones who were already going to go see it, and that's why it's tracking so low.
Right. So, well, I mean, the only thing that I can think of is literally doing a favor for Abdi and DeLuca, after Full Circle. Like, I mean, they pulled a lot of strings for him to, have that weekend and everything. So it's probably his way of, repaying them in some form or fashion. Sometimes, which is like, I mean, it's. Oh no, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I thought you were done. I didn't know. Go ahead.
No. Honestly, you go ahead because I literally went out. I forget easily, so you can.
You forgot what you were going to say. I forgot what I was going to say too. But no, I think that it's one of those things where it's hard to remember that Abdi and DeLuca are there, that they're actually in power at that studio. When you consider all the dumb, head-scratching things that are going on at the behest of James Gunn and Peter Safran.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it.
I don't either. We're literally the perfect show for. We don't get it. WBD, we do not get it. The only thing that we get about them is Pam Abdi and Mike DeLuca. They are the only things that make sense there so far.
You want to read Chubby Teddy Master's comment here, Apass?
I can't. Okay, I'm sure Vodka Boy believes Gunn over Gal.
Yeah, I didn't want to read the comment because I would have been really mean. But here's the thing, the thing about Gunn and Gal. We're gonna get into that. I'm with you on Blue Beetle. I think that it was more of a favor. It was more of a return the favor. It was a you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours kind of a thing. It's not meant to be taken like, I mean, because I remember you and I, we were texting back and forth about the concept of, well, this could mean something bigger. This could mean that maybe, this is kind of like WBD and Zack are talking again, and it's kind of a, it's kind of a goodwill gesture on the part of Zack, so that Zack can maybe get a deal later and kind of work that into maybe finally getting to finish his arc. But that would mean that, what does that mean in terms of the arc as a whole? Does it mean that WBD would eventually do it themselves, or that it would get sold to Netflix? Hashtag sell ZSJL to Netflix, hashtag sell Snyderverse to Netflix. Is that, how does that all compute? Is that part of it? Is this why we're seeing Zack come out and finally endorse something of WBD's? Because he hasn't endorsed anything WBD since he left. And that's just the truth. Right. So it's hard not to read more into this as a Zack Snyder fan, as somebody who follows Zack, and not think, well, this has to mean something, because why would he go out of his way to endorse a movie that has no business getting released theatrically? Remember, this was supposed to be a Max original. This was supposed to come out on Max, and they decided to make it theatrical because they're greedy scumbags that have no honor whatsoever. They're the lowest form of human life as far as a studio is concerned. It doesn't get much lower than the types of people we're dealing with the exception, of course, of Pam Abdi and Mike DeLuca. So, I'm trying not to, look at, and as a fan, I naturally want to go there and I want to say, oh yeah, this is, but I'm not really hearing that. I don't really know that's happening. I know there's been some talks with regards to Cell. I know there's been some stuff that's happened that, we found out about, but we don't really know in the grand scheme of things, the big picture. So we can't really say for sure, but I think it's a good thing, I guess, to see Zack promoting something WBD, especially considering that the previous regime was anti-Snyder, as Zack said in his own words. So I don't know if this, so I don't think that this could be a bad thing, him coming out and promoting this movie. I just wish it wasn't this movie. I wish it was something else from WBD entirely. I think I would have been more comfortable with Zack coming out promoting The Flash, because at least The Flash, even though, Apass and I didn't care for it all that much, it still would have been a little bit more. It might have helped it a little more. It might have given it a chance. Whereas Blue Beetle, I don't think has a chance. And you brought up the fact that about the engagement, that Zack Snyder's tweet got more engagement than the trailer for Blue Beetle.
Yeah.
It's just a fact.
It is a fact at this point. It's just like, for any of these, I don't believe they're even real people. I think they are just bots. And not to say that there aren't people that are like this, but it's just, you must be living in some kind of, like, I don't even know, like, virtual reality thing, because for anyone to say that Zack Snyder is like, I don't know what the word is, like, and any of like the negative stuff that is talked about Zack on social media, it's literally not true. You know what I mean? Like, he literally is the opposite of whatever these antis like to say. And mostly these antis are also for Colonel Sanders. So it's almost like they don't want to, actually see what's true and what's not. They're seeing their own skewed perception. It's weird. Weird stuff.
It's wacky.
It's straight up wackiness.
And if you'd be so kind now as to read Nessa's comment, because I think you and I talked about this as well.
Yes. Yeah. if it doesn't do good, they can't blame Zack. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And I think that's another thing. That's another strategic move on his part of it because he can't not, you know, hear all this bullshit being said, like, oh, it's all
He's
because of
probably
Zack
getting
Snyder.
tired of being. He's probably getting tired of getting blamed for every DC movie that
Right.
flops when he hasn't been at the studio in what now 8 years. I mean, he hasn't
Yeah.
done anything. He did. Listen, what these people don't realize, these cockroaches, what they don't understand is that Zack left the studio. Okay, he's gone. He's not there. He has nothing to do with it. I hate them so much. I don't know what to say. Like he is just terrible. Like he's got nothing to do with it. Like, number one, he was gone a long time ago. And ever since, he's been getting blamed for every movie that fails, every movie that flops. They blame the Snyder fans. They blame Zack Snyder. They say it's Zack Snyder's fault that DC is in the spot that it's in right now. Never mind all the failed attempts by the 30 different regimes. It's just ridiculous. It doesn't matter. It's terrible.
It's so asinine. It's such like it never made sense because if you literally looked at the box office of all the movies that he's done for DC, comparing it to after him, it's like, are you all on crack? Like, seriously, it must be some really good stuff.
Zack crack is real. I swear to God,
it's real.
Zack crack is real. You know, shout out to Mr. West Ashley. You know, when I went with my niece and nephew the other day to watch Oppenheimer in IMAX, my second time seeing Oppenheimer, I wore my Zack crack t-shirt. And people walked by me, they looked at it, saw Zack crack, and I swear, I got so many snickers, people laughing, people trying to hide the fact that they were laughing at Zack crack. People know what Zack crack is. People understand. People follow this stuff. Don't think that people don't know what's going on. And the general audience preferred the direction that Zack Snyder was taking DC to the direction that all the other regimes were trying to force down our throat and make it seem like that stuff was legit. Every DC movie after Aquaman went in the toilet bowl. Why is that? And here's the thing. The only reason Aquaman did as good as it did was because Jason Momoa worked his ass off to promote the Snyder Cut. Jason Momoa was out there trumpeting the Snyder Cut the way he tap dances now for every other movie he gets cast in. Jason Momoa, but back when Jason Momoa did it for the Snyder Cut, it was new and it was special and it felt different. Now he just does it for everything. So it doesn't matter anymore. But back then, what he did for the Snyder Cut brought him so much goodwill that we all went to see Aquaman in droves. Don't let anybody tell you different. Don't let anybody tell you that it was Saffron that did it. See, and that's the thing I don't understand. Saffron got rewarded because he was a producer on Aquaman. And they rewarded him and put him in charge of DC because Aquaman was so successful. But think about it. Okay, Aquaman made $1 billion. But every other movie outside of Aquaman flopped. So you bring in James Gunn, a guy that was responsible in DC for another big flop, the Suicide Squad, and you basically put him in charge of the creative of everything. Makes no sense. If anything, they should have brought back Zack Snyder as a result of Aquaman's success, because Aquaman making $1 billion should have showed everybody that, hey, there's still value in Zack's characters. Because let's face it, it was Zack Snyder that brought in Jason Momoa as Aquaman. It was Zack Snyder that made Aquaman cool, because before Zack Snyder, Aquaman was the butt of all sorts of dirty jokes, the kind of jokes that James Gunn loves, as we saw evidently when he used the Justice League in the Suicide Squad.
Such a fucking
or whatever that show is, Peacemaker. I don't, the show where John Cena has a bedpan on his head. I don't know. I'm over it. I'm over it at this point. I don't care anymore. I'm like, give me a break. Aquaman should have given WB the message. We need to bring back Zack Snyder. That was the message that they should have gotten from Aquaman. Not we need to keep moving further and further away from the Snyderverse. Because if you notice, every movie, every single film, every film got further and further away from the Snyderverse, right? Every one of them. And as the further you distanced, the less money you made.
Exactly. I mean, it's not rocket science. It really is not rocket science. And if one day they finally release the numbers for like the Snyder cut on like how well it did, I mean, if they ever do, it's just that's your gateway. That's the path you should go down. But time and time again, no matter who's in charge, it's the same result, the same stupidity, the same clownish behavior, same wackiness that seems to just permeate DC. And hashtag sell, man. That literally is the only way to like see any of this, any respect, any sort of dignity put on DC, like the brand of DC's name. Like, because if nothing happens with Cell and it's just going to be Gunn's vision or all the ideas that he's just stealing from scripts that are no longer being utilized and ideas that are no longer being utilized and making them more perverted and wacky. Like, I mean, it's done, dead and buried. Like it's just no. There's no going back from that. So that's why Cell is the only way.
Cell is the only way. You are 100% right, Apass, as always. And Dennis here makes a great point. James Gunn promoted Blue Beetle and came away with nothing. It was Zack Snyder that got people talking.
Bingo.
Unbelievable.
And that probably pissed him off so much.
Here's something. You can go ahead and read this one because I have no interest in the director of Blue Beetle. So go ahead, Apass.
Yeah, they called Batman a fascist, for God's sake. Exactly. Like, it's not funny. It's not funny at all. Like, it's stupid. Doesn't even make sense. It's just, yeah. And that, just like, didn't he say that, I can't say that.
Jaime
Reyes.
Jaime Reyes.
I can't talk today. Blue Beetle, the time that he is learning to fly for the first time, he references Man of Steel. I'm like, shut the fuck up, dude. No, you're not. You're literally disgracing.
You're not referencing Man of Steel because Marvel referenced Man of Steel in WandaVision, and how far did that get them? You're not referencing nothing. Everybody references Man of Steel now because Zack Snyder's the blueprint. Y'all reference him, and it's so funny. The WBD executive that came out on videotape. We got her face on video coming out calling Zack Snyder's Justice League a global phenomenon. What they do? They fired her. I'm so glad I got her. I'm so glad I got her for Pause Not Stop. Just saying. You know, y'all just don't understand. This is what I'm talking about. People are, we're dealing with a bunch of dirtbags that think that they know better than the creatives. They think they know better than the fans. They think they know better than the actors. They think they know better than the actresses. Everybody involved, they know better, right? This is why there's a big strike going on with no end in sight, because these studios are greedy, scummy. They're all about the money. They don't care about anything.
They're evil.
And people don't realize if you're supporting James Gunn, you're supporting that. You're supporting that crooked system. You're supporting those scumbags. James Gunn is an executive now. He's not just a director. He's not just an actor. He's an executive. He's in that seat. And if
no
you
business
support
being
James
in that
Gunn,
seat.
yeah. He's terrible. He's terrible. He has no business being there. Charles Austin says, oddly enough, I was sold on the Flash trailer the first time. Then I saw the movie.
Yeah, I never was. I don't know. I mean, I just wasn't. I'm being honest. Like, I literally gave it a chance, and I was proven right.
I actually, I'm going to be honest with you. I enjoyed Barbie more than the Flash.
Same.
Just being honest.
Same. Oh my god.
And we had a lot of issues with Barbie. We broke down Barbie for almost 3 hours, but it was still a better movie than the Flash. I'm being honest with you.
Yes. 100%. Yes.
Oh God, check this out. Oh, even some Latino folks are not interested. It has nothing to do with diversity, in my opinion. Well, you are probably right. Actually 100% right.
Yeah, it's not about that. They any chance that they think that they can make a buck, even though when you really think about it, if they were thinking on every level of how to make money, they would have, continued what worked, but no. So it's like a certain, like, their greediness is not really greediness as it is like ego and just, I don't know what else, because like literally if it was just purely money, you would go down this route. You would go with Zack. You would go with the people that he casted, because that's who we want to see. That's who general audiences want to see as those characters. Not freaking Cavill Light, not freaking Gal Gadot Light, whoever they get to be Wonder Woman next. It's just like it's all gonna crash and burn before Superman Legacy actually goes into theaters. I'm sorry. It's just like it's bullshit that this is even happening. Like, oh, I can't wait to for the day where we all see the results.
I'm literally seeing, as you're speaking, I'm seeing bullshit emojis in my head. While as you're talking about it, I'm seeing them, go by one by one by one. It's just because it never ends. It never ends.
It's like, for anyone to be taking Gunn's side at this point, the dude is a pathological liar. He has been since day one, ever since those jokes that he put out from how many, I don't even know how long ago that was, but still, like, he's been a liar for all along, and the fact that you guys want to die on that hill with him says everything to me. You are just like him. It has nothing to do with his creative abilities. The dude doesn't even have creativity. The only creativity that he has is being perverted. That's it. That is it.
And we are going to demonstrate that tonight, Apass, because for everybody out there that doubts what we're saying about James Gunn, we have a program that we are going to share with you all live here tonight on I Don't Get It. My eyes are already bleeding in anticipation of what we're about to watch. But we will be showing that tonight. Copyright be damned. And you know what? It doesn't matter, because I believe that everybody should see this, because he's a scumbag.
He is. The dude is just.
It doesn't get any worse than this guy. It doesn't.
It doesn't. And, it doesn't.
I can't even. I can't even talk normal, literally, because I'm so triggered right now by this dude. Like, it's just, oh my God, it's terrible.
And I literally try with every fiber of my being not to be triggered by him, but he literally is like a walking trigger warning. Like, every which way you look at it, like, you could say nothing at all. Just looking at his picture right behind you, I'm like triggered just looking at his ugly face.
We try so hard, and it's like there it is. There's the poster child, or the poster man for KFC right behind me. There he is. The Colonel's recipe. We're talking, and we're going to show you all tonight exactly what the Colonel's recipe is. So I hope you all are going to stay with us for that. Charles Briggs says, what's up with David Ayer deriding James Gunn. Doesn't he know Gunn is playing him for a sucker? We're going to talk about David Ayer in a little bit too. We're going to finish up this Blue Beetle, and we'll move into that because we've got a lot to cover tonight. This is just like the appetizer, you know. But what the point is, and the point that, you know, we're trying to make with I Don't Get It, is that this is all James Gunn's fault. All of it.
Yes.
None of it is. You can't blame Zack Snyder for stuff that Zack Snyder has not been involved in. Okay. The farthest you can blame Zack Snyder, maybe a little bit, is Aquaman, because Zack Snyder, James Wan collaborated with Zack Snyder a little bit on Aquaman, but Aquaman made $1 billion. Aquaman made $1 billion. So what does that tell you? He collaborated. Zack Snyder helped James Wan out with that movie, and that movie made $1 billion. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. And every movie, every single movie, let me reiterate, every movie after Aquaman made next to nothing. But you have all these people that don't pay for movies, don't go to see movies, on social media telling us how horrible Zack Snyder is, telling us how he doesn't know how to make movies, telling us that Zack Snyder is responsible for DC being in this situation. I got news for you. Snyder fans went to see all these movies. We all supported DC, even when they were making their pivot and going off into their different direction. We suffered through these movies. I rolled my eyes during Birds of Prey, but I sat through it.
Yeah.
I gave it a chance.
Yep.
But what? I don't count because I'm a Snyder fan, and I guess Snyder fans, we don't have pulses. We're not counted as human beings because we support Zack Snyder. We're treated like we're second-class citizens because, you know, we're just Snyder fans. We're not DC fans. That's bullshit. We're all DC fans because we went to see everything.
Yes, exactly.
But we won't be going to see Blue Beetle. And Zack Snyder himself has promoted Blue Beetle. So what does that tell you? Give me a break.
Yeah, like every argument that any freaking troll brings up on Twitter is null and void. It's tired and boring at this point. Like, just don't even say anything. Like, you're not I love how these people actually think they know what they're talking about too. It's like, you have no fucking idea what you're saying. You're literally talking, like, not a talking head. Well, I guess like a mouthpiece.
Talking like a burner account avatar on a X or Twitter, whatever that social media thing is now. Look. Yeah. I think that Zack Snyder promoting Blue Beetle didn't do anything but help Blue Beetle. And Blue Beetle needs all the help it can get because a lot of people aren't going to go see it. Snyder endorsement or not, okay? And I love Zack Snyder, but I'm still not going to go see this movie. So we won't be reviewing Blue Beetle on the next episode of I Don't Get It, just so you know, because the next episode of I Don't Get It will be the following week after next week, and it will be about different topics. We'll talk about how good or bad Blue Beetle's doing at the box office, but we're not going to see the film. It just doesn't. It's just not important. We know it's going to fail. And, you know, and how about this? How about James Gunn lying to the star of Blue Beetle? All right. Telling him that, Blue Beetle is the first character in my DCU, or at one point, and this is contested. This is contested, Apass, but I remember James Gunn saying at one point that Blue Beetle was the first movie of the DCU. I remember him saying this, but he either deleted the tweet or scrubbed all evidence of it. And now, because now he's going around saying he never said that, and
I never said that.
And his simps are going around saying he never said that either, and that he only said that Blue Beetle would be the first character in the DCU, not the first movie. But the thing is, he's only saying this now because he knows Blue Beetle's gonna fail. He knows Blue Beetle's not gonna make a money. Gunn's whole track record, everything Gunn has done since he got there, has been failure. So even if Zack Snyder comes out and endorses it, I swear to God, Zack Snyder could do a video right now, live, with James Gunn. They could come out and do a press conference together and literally say, Blue Beetle's the greatest DC movie you've ever seen, and walk out off the stage together, arm in arm. And I still think the movie's going to fail, no matter what.
Yeah. It's just like anything that I didn't fire Henry. I just didn't hire him back. Oh, Ben is the architect of the DCU. He's going to direct one of our movies. Oh, who says we're getting
that's another topic.
What?
That's another topic we got to talk about tonight too. So you're going to want to stay tuned for that, because we're going to be talking about all the stuff that's come out about Ben Affleck's next solo Batman movie that we were supposed to get, that everybody almost unanimously loves. Everybody that's read the script thinks it's the greatest Batman story of all time, but we won't see it because well, James Gunn has his own ideas, right? Yeah, one word: politeness.
Own ideas.
Yeah, politeness.
Zach being polite tonight.
Zach being the diplomat. I think it's more that Zach is tired of getting blamed for every failed DC movie that comes out. I know I would be sick of it. Like, listen, I haven't had nothing. I haven't had nothing to do with all y'all since you unceremoniously fired me during a family tragedy for Justice League. Why are you coming to me now blaming me for every misstep and failure because your creatives don't know what the hell they're doing with DC? That it doesn't make sense to me.
I mean, it's honestly like it's amazing to me that that he actually, like, I guess, no, but this shows what kind of a person he really is, though. It's like he's gone through so much like so many smear campaigns and people just constantly blaming him for the failures of a cinematic universe. And it's like, if I was him, I would have gone off a long time ago. But like, he literally just ignored it and then used this tweet to like basically say, if this movie fails, you can't blame me because I showed support for it. I'm taking my kids to go see it. Like, it's like, you can't be blaming me 8 years after the fact. Like, I mean, it's ridiculous.
He's got nothing to do with it. He's going to see it.
Else.
Yeah, he's being I would love for Zach to put out a tweet and a Vero post holding his ticket for Blue Beetle on the day that he goes and like, I'm going to see Blue Beetle, and he's literally got his ticket in hand and goes to see it. I mean, because come on. This is a guy, and here Darth Plato says, I have mixed feelings. I like the Blue Beetle actor. I do too. I like Cobra Kai. Okay, I don't have any problem with it. I don't have any problem with him. It's not personal for me. The James Gunn stuff is personal, though. I'm sick and tired of it.
Yes.
The guy's making a complete mockery of everything that's DC, and we have to tolerate it because David Zaslav doesn't know what the hell he's done by putting this loser in charge.
Here's the other thing. Yeah, like, all blame falls on Gunn, but so, like, Zaslav, though. It's just like a whole nother level of blame.
Yeah, remember protect the brand. Remember that? Protect the brand. We're going to protect DC. Yeah, you're doing a really good job protecting DC at this point.
You're literally doing everything you possibly can to tarnish that brand and everything else that Warner Brothers like has. It's incredible watching like this go down in real time.
Universal should buy WB and fire everyone except Abdi and DeLuca. you know, I feel bad for Abdi and DeLuca because I feel like they were on the right track. They wanted DC to succeed as a brand. I'm trying to calm down now a little bit. They wanted DC to succeed as a brand. They actually had a plan for DC, and as you're going to find out, we're going to talk about it as we go further and further tonight. We'll talk about what those plans were. That there were plans in place, not just for Zack Snyder to definitively finish his movie arc, but there was a plan in place for a Flashpoint trilogy that was going to allow for James Gunn and his idiot cronies to come in and reboot DC. There was a plan in place for all of that. So when Gunn was brought in, and a lot of these people don't know what the hell they're talking about. There's people on social media right now that are saying that it was Abdi and DeLuca who brought in Safran and James Gunn. Wrong. It was David Zaslav who brought in James Gunn and Peter Safran. Peter Safran was rewarded for the simple fact that Aquaman made $1 billion. So of course, since money is allegedly the driving factor for everything that David Zaslav does, he thinks that if he puts Peter Safran in charge, that's going to equate to billions of dollars for the studio. And that is not true. That is not the case. That is not what happened. Apass and I just outlined, if Zaslav really wanted to bring DC back into the black, what they would have done was brought back Zack Snyder as a result of Aquaman's success, finished out the Snyderverse, and then if you want to bring in Safran and Gunn to do their thing, you do it after the Snyderverse is completed. And we'll talk a little bit later about all of that, because believe me, there were a lot of plans and a lot of the stuff. And I'm a little bit salty because a lot of the stuff that I'm talking about in my book, a lot of the stuff that I have for Pause Not Stop, came out this week about various things about Affleck's movie, about the Flash trilogy. I honestly thought I was going to look like a scooper when I put out my book with the Flash trilogy information, because I've known about the Flashpoint trilogy for a long time. People just, it's something that I was keeping. I didn't even release any clips with regards to it, but I've known about it. But yeah, there's a lot, that we will talk about when we get into that. Nessa says, the only thing I'll say is that I feel bad for the actor because he's a lead in this movie. James Gunn is an idiot.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Couldn't agree with you more on that, Nessa. This is what we're dealing with here. We're dealing with the literal, scum of the film world. We're dealing with it all in one place. And why do we always have to go through it? That's what I want to know. Like, what's the problem? Why do we always get the Kevin Tsujihara, Toby Emmerich, Walter Hamada? Now we got to deal with James Gunn, the worst of them all. Why?
Literally.
What is the problem? Why do we keep getting these people who are miserable failures and they fail upward? I've never seen anything like it in my life. James Gunn's The Suicide Squad, the Blu-ray is literally in the bargain bin for $4.99 at Walmart. I see it in there every time I go.
And that's what his DC universe is going to look like. Bargain bin. Buckets of Kentucky Fried Chicken. Like, everything that you could possibly imagine that is cheap is going to be his DC. And he's going to ruin it. He already has tarnished it just by his behavior. But Whew, man.
Yeah, the thing is, Abdi and DeLuca are two competent people in a sea of idiocy.
Mm-hmm. And I
So-
feel bad for. I mean, I honestly feel bad for them because it's like, could you imagine being in those meetings and like just being like constantly being surrounded by this just like circle council of stupid?
It's
Just
like it's like those executives that Zack Snyder was when Zack Snyder was trying to explain about Man of Steel, and he had to
Yes.
explain to them. And one of them was actually dumb enough to ask about Krypton, and Zack actually told them, "Look, Krypton exploded like 15 minutes ago in the movie. Haven't you been watching? Like what are you talking about? Like these are the kinds of people that we're dealing with. They know nothing about the creative aspect. This is why you should never have executives like this in charge. Yeah, they're needed because of the money. But I, for one, will be happy when Hollywood implodes and movies become more about the creative aspect, about the art itself, not billions of dollars. Because as long as Hollywood is controlled by greedy people, greedy corporations, and it's all about billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars, creativity is dead. You might as well not have any creativity, and that's why they want to get rid of the actors. They want to get rid of the writers because, like we talk about on this show all the time about AI, they want AI to take over because guess what? They don't have to pay AI. They can log into ChatGPT-5, type in a prompt, and say, "Give me a sequel to Birds of Prey." And wait 6 hours, and then there's your sequel to Birds of Prey, and you got all your actors and actresses, and you don't have to pay them a nickel. All right? You got great actors out there who want to work and who rightfully deserve to be paid for the work that they do. And they should be getting paid. They should be getting a fair wage. Writers should be getting a fair wage for the work that they're putting in. If you do the work, you deserve to be compensated financially for your work.
Right.
And the studios don't want it. They want all the money. They want to wind up with every goddamn dime on the plate. And that's the problem that we have right now. This is why this strike is more important than any other strike that they've ever had, because this is the one that's going to determine the fate of our entertainment, at least in the way that we know it. If all of these actors starve to death, if all of these writers starve to death, and the studios win, they're not going to have anything authentic anymore. Everything is just going to be, just whatever the studio can come up with. As long as they own the rights to the property, they can go on AI and they can make whatever they want. The stupidest thing I ever saw that's in dispute with this writer's strike is what they want to do with AI is they want to say, just let's say, for an example, you're a voice actor and you do a voice on The Simpsons. They hire you. They want you to come in. They want you to do the voice of the character that you do. And then they want to have the digital rights to your voice indefinitely. They want to be able to use your character for however long they decide to do The Simpsons and not have to pay you another nickel and not have to bring you back for anything. They will have your voice, and it only takes 3 seconds, ladies and gentlemen, to clone a human voice. 3 seconds in the current software that exists right now through artificial intelligence. So if it takes 3 seconds to clone a voice, and you can clone it, and you can use that voice as a character, because the voicing is only going to get better. It's only going to get more sophisticated over time. At some point in the very near future, they'll be able to take that voice, create new episodes of The Simpsons using that actor, without that actor ever having to be in the studio, without that actor ever having to be paid again. And the studio is going to make a ton of money off of it.
It's so unethical.
while the actor is, you know, scraping by on whatever they have and whatever little money they can make with their side hustle, because they're not going to be making any money acting.
It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
Yeah. It is disgusting. And just as another little side note here, since you guys are watching us here on I Don't Get It, I just feel like playing this one more time.
Hello, this is J. Robert Oppenheimer, and you are watching I Don't Get It, featuring Apass and ZodWriter. Please like, share, and subscribe.
That's so scary, but so brilliant at the same time that we even have that technology. Oh man, tell us how you really feel. Hey, that's what I Don't Get It is all about. Honesty.
This is why we're here. This is why
Yes.
Apass and I teamed up. This is why I Don't Get It is going to become a global phenomenon, just like Zack Snyder's Justice League, because nobody gets it. Nobody understands why. It's all greed. It's all based on greed. Got a $5 super chat here from Daniel Martin. Thank you, Daniel Martin. Daniel Martin says, Zod and Apass, did you see the Blue Beetle director tried to say Bane was a hero of his story, and Bane creator Graham Nelson said that's a lot of horse shit. Yeah.
I didn't see that actually.
Yeah, I did. And guess what? Graham Nolan is right.
Oh yeah.
100%.
Like oh my god, it makes my brain hurt.
This is again why I won't go see Blue Beetle, because the guy keeps opening his mouth, and every time he opens his mouth, he says something stupid.
Just like James Gunn.
Like James Gunn. At least Greta Gerwig for Barbie, at least, you know, when she was asked about the offending material.
I did write a book. It's like I've been in a dream where I was somehow really invested in the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League. But what you said broke me out of it. Really? Yeah. You're back. She's back.
Yeah. So but when Greta was asked about the Snyder cut of Justice League, the clip from Barbie that we just played, she really didn't have, you know, much to say. As a matter of fact, I would use the word clueless to describe her response, because she was not responsible for that line. She had no real investment in it one way or the other. It was studio mandated. It was our good friend Toby Emmerich who mandated that line be in there, because he wanted to get one final dig at the Snyderverse community before he left, got his golden parachute, and started his production company that nobody cares about. And so this is what we have. This is what we all have to look forward to in this age of growing technology and people using technology to further their vendettas against paying customers, against actors, actresses, writers, cast and crew, people doing jobs, trying to make a living while trying to entertain. Worst part is that comic accurate Peacemaker would be a brilliant TV show. Dude is a punisher for dictators. Yeah, but unfortunately, we had to see James Gunn's version with John Cena wearing a bedpan on his head. So, you know.
But that was more successful than Zack Snyder's Justice League, right? Right?
Yeah, more successful. Yeah.
Right? That's such a load of fucking bullshit. What? What? And what plan? Like, this is how you know this dude has friends in high places, because it's literally like
He's got pictures of everybody doing very, very despicable and evil
and
things.
vile
He's probably
things.
got a
Yes.
drawer full. He's probably got hard drives full of videos. Oh my God, are you kidding me?
100%. They all
I
just love those
I
pajama
thought that
parties.
he had I knew that he had something on these people when he got rehired by Disney. When Disney rehired him after that Guardians of the Galaxy, after the tweet debacle.
Yeah.
Because Disney never relents on anything like that. Are you kidding me? When Disney makes a decision, come hell or high water, right or wrong, they stick by it 120%. They do not relent. They are not Warner Brothers. So for them to go and rehire James Gunn after they made the business decision to fire James Gunn, a lot of James Gunn simps completely forget about it. Forget about that and apologize for all the nasty tweets and the nasty tweets about children that James Gunn put out. All that was okay, and is all okay and forgotten about because James Gunn was rehired, right?
They're just jokes. If anyone finds those jokes funny, I question you as a human being. I really do. I really do. Like I suggest that you seek help right away, because if you think
but
those
he
were
was
funny,
just being edgy. But he was just being edgy. That's
edgy. He was
that's
so
from his
edgy.
that's from his Tromeo and Juliet days. Yeah. Well, we're gonna show you James Gunn at his edgiest from back in 2008. We're going to show that to you in a little while. So stay tuned, because that's coming up. So we're going to talk about, and then we'll be more than willing to sit there and have a conversation with anybody that thinks that James Gunn is funny. All right. With air quotes. And you can go ahead and read, if you'd like, Nessa's comment. Thank you.
Okay. As an actor, I realize that every director puts a bit of themselves in their movies, and James Gunn proves time and again that he's corny and creepy through his movies. Facts. Facts, facts, facts. The freaking deleted scene from Guardians of the Galaxy 3 with Adam Warlock and, is it his mother? Or is it,
I think it's
who
his
she is,
mother.
because I didn't
No, the scene with all the little children in the cages. Okay.
Well, that too. Well, that wasn't deleted, right? That was actually in the movie.
Film.
Wow. And we're just gonna excuse this guy because he knows what he's doing, right? He knows about comic book like characters. He knows. So we're gonna give him a pass, because who cares if he does all these edgy things, right? Doesn't mean anything about him as a person. Like, the bullshit logic behind this. Like, again, I suggest you seek help right away if you're giving excuses and passes to this freaking piece of shit, which is what he is. And it has nothing to do with DC, okay? Maybe a little bit, but I'm saying as a person, he has proven time and time again that he's a piece of shit. And if you're all really gonna die on that hill, go ahead, because that just says everything about you as well.
Superman Legacy, Truth, Justice, and the Wacky Way.
Literally, that's what we're gonna get. We're gonna get a ripoff of Black Adam, of Man of Steel 2, and then we're gonna add a little perverted wackiness in there, and it's gonna be just great. It's gonna make $1 billion, and DC's gonna be on the right track. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Didn't the Blue Beetle director want to do a Bane movie? Yeah, I think he did, but whatever. If he does it, I won't see it. Just like I'm not watching. He probably wanted to make a Blue Beetle movie with Dave Bautista. No. I bet you he would have got what's his name? The guy that in Hollywood now that won't shut up. the guy's name, what, John Leguizamo?
Oh
He
yeah,
won't shut up
yeah.
either about how his rights are constantly getting violated. That freaking dude, he's another one. They should put him. They should put him in the. They should get him as Bane and get the director. Get this guy who did Blue Beetle to do Bane for Gunn's DCU. That's what they need to do. Yeah, you're damn right. Scorched Earth.
I said it yesterday. It is scorched earth. The past 2 weeks, it's just been building and building and building. Oh.
It doesn't get. It doesn't. I don't see how it gets any worse, but I don't put it past them because I know it's gonna get worse.
Oh yes. It will. It definitely will.
Yeah, I don't get it at all, and I wish that I could try to understand it a little bit more. And I swear I couldn't be more thankful that I'm here with you, because it's like you and we understand each other on another level, and it's like we get this part. But this whole concept of failing upward and just making everything terrible and getting rewarded for it. It just, I don't.
He's everything, like you said earlier, he represents everything that is wrong with the Hollywood system. He does. He totally does.
Okay, well, I guess since we talked about Zack Snyder promoting Blue Beetle, I guess we could talk a little bit about oh God. Well, you know what? Let's get David Ayer out of the way. I think you and I can make short work of good old David Ayer, and we'll talk about David Ayer right now, and then we'll move into our main topic. We do have quite a few topics for tonight, but our main topic is, of course, James Gunn and Gal Gadot, like on the thumbnail. But we'll get into that. But I think now we can finally move a little bit away from Blue Beetle. We've said everything we can about Blue Beetle, and I think we can end Blue Beetle on Darth Plato's comment. If you want to read it.
Okay. Fat man's a fascist. They don't know what fascist means. Exactly. All these words that actually meant something now don't mean anything, because it's literally being thrown at situations and at like that. It doesn't.
Everyone is an ist. Everyone is toxic. Everyone is this. Everyone is that. None of these words have any meaning anymore. They're thrown around just simply because you don't agree with somebody, you don't like with somebody, you call them these names. The same person, there's someone in the chat, who's calling me a weirdo, calling me all kinds of names. Listen, man.
Let me guess, is it a burner?
It's probably a burner account. But
wow,
here's
the
funny part about all that, though. You could say all that about me. You could say anything you want about me, but I'm going to try to tell you the truth as best to my ability. And not only that, I'm going to tell you how I feel. And you're going to get my opinion if you come here. You're going to get Apass's opinion. And if you don't like that, you don't have to be here. But obviously it matters to you because you're here in the chat making ridiculous comments. You're the type of person that would argue with us. If we were to tell you the sky is blue, you would argue with us about the color of the sky, not because the sky isn't blue, but because you don't like us. And when you argue with somebody just on the basis of not liking them, and it's not having anything to do with the truth, it says more about you than it actually does about the person you're arguing with. Because I got news for you. The truth doesn't matter today. All that matters is perception, how people perceive things and who they're friends with. So, because I could tell you truth till you're blue in the face, but you're not going to listen to that because it's coming from me and you don't like me. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what's wrong with society. Period.
Yes.
Period.
Yep.
if there is a superhero who's a fascist, it's Homelander. Yeah,
Yeah.
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 And
That's
Homelander is made to be that way. So, I mean, you know, obviously the director of Blue Beetle doesn't know the difference.
Mm-mm.
Ah, a Blue Beetle movie. Why? Because he's Latino and for no other reason. Yeah, a movie just for the sake of the race of the character. Makes no sense whatsoever.
Mm-mm.
Mm.
Mm-mm.
All right, so now we'll move in and talk a little bit about David Ayer. I was hearing some things that about the Suicide Squad. I was hearing about David Ayer's Suicide Squad, about it possibly getting released. I was hearing from different people that I'm associated with, different people that I know, and unfortunately, because of David Ayer's behavior, because of his constant sucking up to James Gunn. I mean, you talk about sucking up. I've never seen somebody suck up to somebody on the level that David Ayer is doing. I don't know if David Ayer is just afraid that he's going to become homeless. I don't know if David Ayer doesn't think he can get work. I don't know if David Ayer just has an inferiority complex or what. But I'm done with David Ayer. I've had it with David Ayer. David Ayer has been the biggest cheerleader for James Gunn and his stupidity in his new DCU for a long, long time now. It's been going on. It's been going on since James Gunn's version of Suicide Squad was released. His flop that's in the $4.99 Walmart Blu-ray bargain bin. I don't understand. David Ayer's Suicide Squad movie, the theatrical cut, did better than James Gunn's version of Suicide Squad. It did a lot better. It made the studio a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And
that was the studio cut of it as well. It wasn't like the real intended.
And David Ayer is being subservient to James Gunn, being his buddy, his cheerleader, his life coach, I guess.
Life coach. Oh my god! What if he changes his Twitter like bio to life coach of James Gunn? Like, that's what it seems like, though.
I don't understand what the problem is here. This guy is never going to get his movie released. It's never going to happen. And James Gunn is just like, James Gunn is just stringing him along. Oh, like a fish on a reel.
Like literally.
What do you think about this, Apass?
No, I agree 100%. He's been nothing but a kiss up to, like, again, like, and David Ayer is like a talented filmmaker. Like, I've seen his other films, and he's kissing up to, once again, someone who is a freaking hack. I'm sorry, that's my opinion. James Gunn is a hack. Like, I haven't seen. I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy 1 was probably but that wasn't even really his creation.
Like, no, he didn't write it. Gunn didn't write it, so that's why it was good, because he didn't write it.
Exactly. So it's like,
because Guardians of the Galaxy 2, I think you wrote in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was inferior to Guardians of the Galaxy 1 vastly. Mm-hmm. So
yeah. But it's a shame, honestly, to see like David Ayer like take the route that he has. Like, it's like, I still honestly believe that one day, I don't know when, but like one day, like we will see it, whether it be through Netflix or another third party or whatever. But like, it's just the way he's gone about all of this, like it's not a good look. You're making like us who supported you and want to see what your true vision like was for your film. Like it's just like you're not creating any goodwill with us by kissing up to this hack. I'm sorry, you're not.
Yeah, and Nessa puts it in great perspective here. Would you do the honors, Apass?
This this MFer is so full of himself, literally made himself writer, director, producer on the first movie of the KFCU. Ridiculous. That says it all right there. Right there. He's gonna freaking write everything. He's such a narcissistic, egotistical, like yeah. He's not going to let anybody do what they want. It has to be the way he wants it. All like, yeah.
Oh, this is so sad. This is
it's so sad. It really is. It really is.
And here's the thing, I had sympathy for David Ayer. I felt bad for David Ayer. I helped campaign for David Ayer. I wanted to see David Ayer succeed. And now, because David Ayer is the way he is, I just don't think we're going to see his movie. And one of the things that I heard was that David Ayer, and this is something that is kind of disturbing to me if this is true. I heard that there's a possibility that the Ayer cut could get retooled and reworked so that it's possible for it to fit in with the KFCU. Now, if that's the case, then it's believable to me in the fact that it explains why David Ayer keeps kissing James Gunn's ass so religiously. I've never seen anything like it in my life. I feel like it's happening because, so it's basically James Gunn saying, look, Dave, this is what we're going to do. We're going to fix your movie so that it'll be in line with the DCU and we'll be able to work it within the DCU. And then this way you can come back and do more projects for us. That's what I think this is, Apass. That's why it hasn't been released in the form that David Ayer intended. That's why. So in other words,
it's compromised again.
David Ayer has compromised himself again, just so that he can get in good with the boss, the good old boy network, and do what? And now, and then he'll say, oh yeah, this was my vision all along. Bullshit. There's no way that this is your vision. If his movie gets released under the DCU banner, then we know it's compromised again, which is why I can confidently say I do not believe we will ever see the Ayer cut. Because that won't be the Ayer cut either. That'll be whatever abomination James Gunn and David Ayer were able to cook up for the DCU. It won't be the Ayer cut that my good friend Will Rollins got to watch. It won't be the Ayer cut that we've all been clamoring to see since before Zack Snyder's Justice League came out. No. See, basically, David Ayer sold out. That's what I'm saying. David Ayer he sold out. He sold out. He sold out.
No, that makes sense. It does make sense. Yeah.
I'm having a big problem with all this Ayer stuff that I'm hearing, because Ayer it's like you do realize who you're siding with, David. I mean, I know you want to continue to work, but David, James Gunn doesn't care about you. James Gunn is an executive. He's head of the studio now. He doesn't give a damn about you. He will lie to your face. Anything that he says to you, you have to take with a grain of salt automatically. And none of this is nothing. This is nothing compared to the way James Gunn is doing our Wonder Woman Gal Gadot. And we're going to talk about that coming up. That's our main topic. We're going to talk about that. Zack's been suffering so much and stayed a good person. He is trustworthy of directing Superman. Of course.
Yes.
And we would have got.
Oh, there was the. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
That's okay.
I forget what publication this week was like, why the controversial choice in Man of Steel where Superman breaks Zod's neck was the right choice. And I'm like, oh, now it's the right choice. When 10 years ago, all you crybabies, why did he have to break his neck? Like,
Zack was ahead of his time. We know this. Zack was ahead of his time. See, we're forward. We're all forward thinkers, Apass. That's what it is. We're all on a different plane. We expect more from our movies. See, Zack Snyder doesn't treat his audience like they're a bunch of idiots, where they have to be spoon-fed content and they have to be laughing every 30 seconds. That's not what Zack does.
No.
James Gunn, on the other hand, believes that that's the way. Make crappy, disposable content constantly because the audience isn't going to care. They're going to forget about it 5 minutes after they've watched it because it's all about consumption. It's like popcorn. That's all it is. That's all popcorn. James Gunn stuff is. It's popcorn. That's it.
It's nasty popcorn.
He's not talented.
Not even good.
It's not even good. It's popcorn without butter. It's popcorn without salt. It's just plain, like, it's like eating styrofoam.
Yep.
Tasteless. Yep. Oh, and Raw Talks is here. What's up, Rock Talks?
Rock
Talks. The sad fact is that Zaslav had made billions destroying this brand. The dude doesn't care about any of this. He only cares about the fastest way to make a buck before he sells WB. I have to question a lot of that too because he's making his money, which he doesn't care, and he doesn't care if WBD burns to the ground because look at all the money he's made. Look at all the money. Look at the money he took home. He's literally the highest paid executive in studio history. That's a fact. That can be independently verified. Go look it up.
No, I believe it.
I'm just saying in general, for anybody watching this, and for all the haters out there that keep calling me a lunatic, go look up the things that I'm saying to you. The things we're saying on this show can be independently verified. At least most of them can.
Yep.
But
they don't want to. They don't
I'm
want
not
to
lying to you. No, it's not about truth. It's not about truth. It's about it's about not liking. If you don't like us, they don't like us. Everything we're saying is sus and should be dismissed because we're not liked, and that's fine. I'm not doing this show to be liked. I don't care if you like me. I don't know about Apass, but I really don't care.
No, I don't care either. I don't care.
And that's why we're here, because we don't care. We don't get it, and we don't care. If I cared about what people thought about me, I wouldn't have my face here on this stream if I really gave a damn. Give me a break. If I really cared about what these haters thought, I'd be doing other things with my life. So many people have come to me and they act like the things that they say to me are going to scare me into not publishing my book or scare me into not doing content or irritate me. And all I do is I just keep coming out doing the same thing I always do, which is speak from my heart and tell the truth.
And that's why I respect
I don't care
you,
what
and
you
I've
think.
Always respected you because you've always been that way.
Always.
Like since I first.
And I feel the same way about you. You are the same way. And you and I are on that same page. And that's the reason why we're here right now.
Right.
We have never, it couldn't have worked any better. And that's why I say that part, of I don't get it. You and I do get it. We get each other, but we don't get this. All the stuff that we're seeing right now.
All the wackiness. Yeah.
And we will, and Charles, we will get into this. Darn, we could have had Reverse Flash, aka Professor Zoom, as the ultimate bad guy of the DCU.
I mean, this studio, these clowns.
And you know what? I bet you Reverse Flash wouldn't have been Ezra Miller either.
No, it wouldn't have. It wouldn't have. Which, granted, did Ezra Miller do a good job?
They should have hired. They should have hired. It would have been funny if they would have. If later on, when Zack did his Flash trilogy to finish out the Snyderverse, if you would have got Toby Emmerich to play Reverse Flash. Or Walter Hamada, because we got to have diversity. We got to diversify, right?
Right.
So let's get Walter Hamada to play Reverse Flash.
Or and Cernoff. Flip the
let's gender swap. Yeah, let's gender swap the character and have instead of and so Professor Zoom could have been a woman, could have been Ann Sarnoff, and instead of working at Hooters, she could have ended up working as Professor Zoom. That would have been great. That could have been her whole plot point. She ended up in a timeline where she was working at Hooters, and then like things went south, and she got struck by lightning. And oh God, I just. Oh.
Oh my God. Who would have thought that we would be saying we missed those guys actually now?
I know. I'm sitting here missing Walter Hamada. At least Walter Hamada was going to do a Crisis on Infinite Earths movie at some point. He would have brought back Henry Cavill with the whitened temples and the. Listen, I just we can't blame Gunn. Saffron is the other half. Oh no, we blame Saffron too. Saffron never should have gotten hired. But if we didn't have Saffron, we wouldn't have James Gunn. That's something else people don't realize. Saffron, when he got the job, he took the job on one condition. He told David Zaslav, I'll take the position, but I want to bring in James Gunn as my creative from DC. He was Kevin Feige's right hand for many years over at Marvel. I want to bring him here to make DC. And that was the deal. So, we blame Saffron as well. Definitely, 100%. But Saffron was hired, because of Aquaman. And we talked about that earlier, about the Aquaman making $1 billion and the studio getting the wrong message from Aquaman and saying, it was because of Saffron's genius producing that Jason Momoa's Aquaman movie made $1 billion. No, it was because Jason Momoa had the goodwill of the fan base because Jason Momoa fought so hard for the Snyder Cut. That was the reason why.
Which is also another thing that it's sad to see Jason Momoa tap dancing, literally selling out. It's like, oh man.
Don't forget Clooney is now Batman. Yeah. Well, he's saying that Clooney. James Gunn did come out and say that Clooney was not the new Batman, but we can't really believe anything he says though. When he says that, but a lot of stuff that he says, it turns out to not be true or turns out to be debunked. So it doesn't make any sense.
A pathological liar. He is. Yes, he's always the one that's won't.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. If he's got so much to say and he's I mean, I don't understand why, if you're an executive like James Gunn right now, why you don't just stay off social media. Why do you get on social media to anger people and to argue with people? That's what he wants to do. Yeah. And I said before, they did not hire him because his projects are going to get made. They hired him to be an agitator for the fans, because what they're doing is they're using James Gunn as a placeholder until WBD gets sold. And WBD is due to get sold in a couple of years. So all of these Gunn simps, including this person right here, all of these Gunn simps, I bring the tea, including this simp right here. Guess what? Your Superman Legacy is not coming out. Your Creature Commandos will probably be the only thing from James Gunn that you see that sees the light of day. And yeah, your Superman Legacy's not happening, buddy. All right?
Coward.
It's not happening.
Coward.
It's not happening.
Imagine living your life like this. Like, oh, I'm gonna.
I love it. I think it's great. I think it's great. I think it's great. They have nothing better to do. It makes me happy because it's like, yeah, if everybody liked me and everybody agreed with me, I wouldn't have nobody watching me, because guess what? When you're considered controversial, when I'm considered controversial by simps like you, I bring the tea. I'm doing something right. Well, ZodWriter, you're an insane conspiracy theorist who deserves to be mocked and ridiculed. No one will ever take you or your book seriously. Welcome to being a laughingstock. Keep getting angry. You know, I bring the tea. If you really think that I'm angry, you haven't been watching. Look, I bring the tea.
There's a difference.
I don't care.
Right. Yeah, we don't care, first off. And second, if you don't know the difference between like passionate, like frustration and anger. Like you don't get that. You don't get that at all.
Yeah.
So
in a lot of ways, you've come to the right place. You've come to I don't get it. And obviously you don't get it. So, you know, you're welcome here anytime. You have a right to your opinion. I don't care. You can say what you want. But you know, it's not gonna faze me, and it's not gonna upset me. My problem is with simps like you coming here and defending an idiot running a studio. He's not just a content creator anymore. He's not just a movie maker. He is a studio executive. Everything that he does is fair game, and we have every right to talk about him. He's a public figure. We can say how we feel about the decisions he's making. As fans of this material, we have every right to talk about it because we are customers and we pay for this stuff. So we should be able to talk about it. You know? I mean, what, wow. It's just, I don't get it. I'm here to cook the haters. I don't get it. Yeah. There's a lot of haters. There's a lot of haters out there, Emancipator.
Yes, there are.
Oh, goodness. So many. So many.
Oh my God, yeah.
Anyway, we've got a big topic coming up that we want to talk about now. David Ayer's Suicide Squad is not coming out, at least not in the way that people are hoping. If it comes out, it will be annexed into James Gunn's DCU, and it will be another compromised version, just like Apass pointed out earlier. That's what it'll be. You're never going to see the Ayer cut in the way that you think. So just forget about it. It's not happening. Thank God Zack Snyder isn't a simp like David Ayer. Wow. We would have never got to see. We never would have got to see Zack Snyder's Justice League. Never would have happened. Could you imagine if just imagine Zack Snyder on Twitter and Vero being the biggest cheerleader for Joss Whedon. Just imagine.
Oh, I know.
Just imagine Zack Snyder being like, oh, praise to Joss Whedon. Hey, Joss, you got this. Like, just imagine. Like, just imagine how that would have, like...
I can't even
exactly
imagine
what's going on now. The guy that comes in and replaces David Ayer literally usurps his movie and makes his own version of his movie. It's got David Ayer sitting in the back with the pom-poms.
It's crazy. It's wacky. It's certainly wacky.
It's certainly wacky. And Bo Knows Tecmo says, I'm tired of movies made about T-list superheroes. Amen to that.
The fact that we, oh my God. I mean, anyway, okay, yeah.
Oh God, please read Daniel Martin's comment, Apass, if you don't mind.
Yeah, Charles Roven was actively working on Man of Steel 2 for Cavill's return. We went from that to looking forward to Metamorpho.
Wait until you guys read the stuff I got on Charles Roven for Pause Not Stopped. Just saying.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Wait. Is that a good, like, oh my God, or a bad?
It's good. It's
Okay,
amazing. But it's all sad and unfortunate right now because of the stuff that we're living through. But I will
Right,
say that, yeah.
Oh yeah, David Goyer is, yeah.
Yeah. This is some great
Sin
stuff.
Havoc.
Yeah. It would be like that meme where they all talk. They're all talking, and the one dude that makes sense is thrown out the window. Apass.
Right? Literally. Oh my God. Ugh.
All right, so I think we'll take a moment, and then we will transition into our next topic, which is a big one, and one that has both myself and Apass fired up.
Hello, this is J. Robert Oppenheimer, and you are watching I Don't Get It, featuring Apass and ZodWriter. Please like, share, and subscribe.
I like that so much. Thank you,
Yeah.
Oppenheimer. You know,
Thanks,
I like that so much because we don't even have to say that now. We've got Oppie to do it for us.
Yes, Oppie.
Let's see here. It happened once in the 70s. It can happen again. Yeah. Now, well, hey, I mean, one day we will talk about what happened to Richard Donner.
Yeah.
With same company, ironically. Anyway, our next topic for today is, of course, James Gunn versus Gal Gadot. Who's lying and who's telling the truth? Well,
let's look at the track record. Let's look at it real quick. Just like a guy who literally has been lying the whole time since he came into power, or a very like classy actress who actually has like no reason to be lying.
Yeah, there you go.
Just saying.
There you go. So the story goes that according to our beloved Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot, the great Wonder Woman, great actress,
yes,
just had a new movie released this weekend, Heart of Stone. I still haven't watched it. I'm going to probably watch it tonight or tomorrow, and Apass and I will be reviewing it on our next episode of I Don't Get It.
Yes, indeed.
Apparently, according to Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman 3 is still happening. And it's being developed with James and Peter. I think that's almost a direct quote. I think that's pretty much what she said.
That's literally, she said, and I quote. She literally quoted them. I love her so much. Like, I loved her before, but I love her even more now because it's just like the way that she handled this. It's just brilliant, in my opinion. It's like she saw what happened with Henry. She saw what happened with Ben. Like she's seeing this fiasco, and obviously Patty Jenkins too. Like she saw what happened with her. So.
Yeah, she even said in the thing, unfortunately, something along the lines of, unfortunately, Patty has moved on and won't be involved in the third Wonder Woman. Like Gal Gadot isn't stupid. She literally is pointing out and telling you everything. You know, but I kind of believe that the meeting kind of went down something like this. James and Peter probably were like telling Gal Gadot. They probably said something along the lines of, "Yeah, Gal. We'll work something out. We'll pat her on the head. We'll work something out. We'll make it happen. We're not done with Wonder Woman yet." Something along those lines. I'm sure that they just said it in passing. There was probably no contracts. There's probably no, it just kind of, like that a boy or that a girl or you did good or whatever kind of a thing. There's nothing really, nothing really to go by with it. I don't think that Gunn and Saffron have any plans whatsoever for Wonder Woman.
No, they don't.
At least
except for Paradise Lost, and that's not even his idea. Let's be real. That's not his idea.
Right. Right. Because remember, Zack Snyder had plans, and he actually
do an Amazon show.
Plans to do an Amazon show, and this is included in Pause Not Stopped as well. He had plans for a dark Game of Thrones style Amazon's show. He's talked about it at one of the Snyder Con events. I don't think it was the most recent one. I think it was the one prior, the year prior. But he did talk about the Amazon idea that he had. It was a show he pitched for HBO Max around the time that the Snyder Cut was getting finished. See, he was trying to help Warner Brothers. He really was. He was trying to give them content because he knew what they needed. Zack is a company guy. He was trying to work with them. He was trying to help them. And they spat in his face. And look what James Gunn is doing. Again. Amazon's. Oh, his show, his Paradise Lost is going to be really wacky, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Oh,
that's just what we want from an Amazon TV show. After seeing those strong Amazons in Zack Snyder's Justice League, we want to see a wacky version of that shit. That's what we want to see.
That's what we signed up for. That's
right.
Exactly
that's what we're here.
Wanted.
That's why we're here. Yeah.
Such an asshole.
So who wins? Who's telling the truth? Is it James Gunn? Or is it Gal Gadot?
It's Gal. 100%. Like it's like she used. I believe she was being strung along. I believe that because that's literally like his MO. He like strings them along, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I didn't say that. I just changed my mind. What are you talking about? I never said anything like that. Like he's pathological liar. I know he keeps saying that, but it's true. It's literally true. And I mean, again, it's reminiscent of like what they did with like the Variety story. Was it Variety where they broke saying there's no Wonder Woman 3 in development? Or was that another publication?
I believe it was Variety that broke the story.
It was? Okay. So yeah. They were literally using legalese to call her a liar. Like, does that not sound like a certain person that said she
I just think it's funny I just think it's funny all the Gunn simps that were out there saying, "See, we told you Gal isn't going anywhere. We told you that Gal Gadot was still going to be Wonder Woman. See, James Gunn wouldn't get rid of her. We told you. I saw so many of those simps. I saw so many of the Gunn simps defending James Gunn when Gal came out and said that, not even realizing that Gal and James Gunn are conflicting. So your boy, James Gunn, that you guys are all simping for,
your Lord and Savior,
is against Gal Gadot, is saying that it's contrary to what Gal Gadot is saying. That's not happening, guys.
Yeah. So like, what are they going to say now? What are they saying now? I haven't really been on Twitter to see the response from these simps, but like, I mean, oh my god, like,
I saw a few YouTube videos. One guy did a YouTube video where he's like, where it was in his the title of his YouTube video, James Gunn told you Gal never left or something like that. And they did a bunch of videos where there's a bunch of videos where people were kind of split down the middle about it. And then there were a bunch of videos of people coming out saying that oh, it's all, all the Snyder bots are mad because James Gunn is going to use Gal Gadot for Wonder Woman going forward. Come to find out, James Gunn's not using Gal Gadot moving forward. James Gunn told Gal Gadot he was using her moving forward and told her she was safe. That's the exact word that he used.
You're in good hands.
You're in good hands. It's safe. You're safe, Gal.
Safe with us.
You're
not Wonder Woman.
We're not going to get rid of you. Well,
such a liar.
Jennifer Holland's going to be the next Wonder Woman, ladies and gentlemen. And she's going to be the next Supergirl as well. You're going to have Jennifer Holland with blonde hair as Supergirl, so she looks more traditional. And you're going to have her wearing a wig as Wonder Woman so that she can look more exotic for Wonder Woman. She's going to be the only actress in James Gunn's DCU that isn't replaced by AI.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So there you go. So there will be one actress, okay, that's not going to get replaced. Oh, and maybe James Gunn's brother, Sean Gunn, maybe he'll have a couple of roles too, because
of course
James Gunn's got to take care of him too. All the nepotism. It's all gotta continue. It's all gotta be allowed, right? So AI, yeah. So here's the actors and actresses and writers in Hollywood that are going to be allowed to continue to work and continue to provide for their families. The family members of executives. They will be allowed to continue to work. They will be allowed to continue earning. The rest of them, and friends of the executives too. You got to be good friends, meaning there's got to be sexual favors involved. There's got to be whatever, you name it. That's
pajama parties.
Pajama parties. I mean, stuff that's, completely unmentionable on this stream. But yeah, definitely. So there will be some people still working, but the vast majority will be replaced by artificial intelligence. It's just the way it's going to be. AI.
Yep.
And but Gal Gadot is definitely going to be gone. She's not being brought back. Jennifer Holland, 100%.
The only way I wanted, because during that, it's been 2 weeks almost since she first brought up Wonder Woman 3, and during PR for not PR, during her press, it was her press tour for Heart of Stone, and I remember questioning. I was like, oh my god, is she really working with Gunn and Saffron? It doesn't even make sense to me. And then I started questioning the whole money angle. It's oh, we're getting rid of the actors because we can't afford to pay them, and it's none of it makes sense. I don't get this. I don't get it at all. And then only to find out that she literally was playing 5D chess through the media to try and get him to come and debunk her, which he didn't do personally, but of course someone had to be a source for Variety, because he's not man enough to actually admit that he lied.
Okay, Muse Morales, I guess, has a question for us, Apass. Apass and Zod, does it confuse you or upset you guys that James Gunn has so much support online and with the industry? The studios, actors, and filmmakers love him. Case of Holly Weird being wacky.
Yeah, it's Holly weird for sure.
It is definitely Holly weird. And and here's my whole problem. I wouldn't be as upset about it as I am if it wasn't being done in such a blatant, in your face, backstabby kind of way. Everything that James Gunn has said has been proven to be a lie, pretty much. There's very little that he said that's the truth. And, apart from the fact that he's doing a cartoon, Creature Commandos, and he's doing Superman Legacy, I think everything else has all been a lie. He lies about timetables. He lies about actors. He lies about who's in. He lies about who's out. I mean, I don't know how anybody can defend him. I thought that Ben Affleck put the nail in the coffin on James Gunn.
Absolutely.
James Gunn is literally on record saying that James Gunn was that Ben Affleck is going to direct a movie for the DCU, and that they were trying to find the right project for him. He's literally on record saying that. And Ben Affleck came out in black and white and said, absolutely not. Debunked James Gunn right there. But yet somehow all of James Gunn's simps are coming at us, coming out of the woodwork, saying that we're delusional. We don't know what we're talking about. James Gunn can do no wrong, but James Gunn has been caught more than once bold-faced lying about people. And Gal Gadot is just the most current one that's come out.
Yeah. And I honestly think, I don't think this will happen, but I think honestly, the actors, remember that rumor that was going around whenever Gunn, after he announced that he didn't fire Henry, but he actually did. And there was this rumor saying that Henry, Ben, and Gal were gonna sue Warner Brothers Discovery for the way that they handled the whole situation. I honestly think that they should. This isn't ethical behavior. To actively string people along the way that he has and then deny that he has been doing that and he needs to be held accountable, but I have a feeling he probably never will. If those tweets from years ago didn't do shit, then this isn't going to do anything. He'll just continue to fail upwards unless some divine intervention happens.
Yeah, I don't think we're ever going to get to a point where they're going to get rid of James Gunn or Peter Safran. I believe that they're there until the studio gets sold, which is in a couple of years. And when that happens, and so I'm hoping that the strike goes just long enough for that studio to get sold so that James Gunn doesn't have a chance to film one foot of Superman Legacy. That's what I'm hoping for. That'll be the sweetest revenge possible. Just go right down to the wire. Legacy's about to start filming, but you know what? They got sold to Comcast, so it's over. It's not happening. That'll be a celebratory day for most of the fandom.
Yes. Yeah. Agreed. And I agree with that comment in a way. I do.
I think, and I think that it's because Jason Momoa is looking out for Jason Momoa. He's looking out for number one. He's not, he really, he owes a lot to Zack, and he knows that he does. I don't think he would deny that he owes a lot to Zack. I don't think so. But I also think that Jason Momoa is one of those guys that likes everybody and wants to be friendly and wants to have a friendly reputation with everyone in the industry. He doesn't want to have a bad name by nobody. So he's not, but the problem with people like that, and I just in general, is that means that you stand for nothing. That means that you're just, if you like everybody, you can't possibly stand for something, because there's going to be people that are not going to agree with you if you're anything. I mean, look at us. We get haters coming in here talking crap all the time. Those people don't like us. It doesn't matter. We don't like them either. We're not trying to say that we like everybody. We're not trying to be liked by everybody. We're trying to tell it the way it is. We're trying to tell it how we see it, see it. And and the problem with trying to be liked by everybody is you have to walk a fine line when you like everybody, because now, if you do this and you cross that, you're not gonna be liked by everybody. The only way you can be liked by everybody is to not really have an opinion on anything. You can't, or you can have an opinion about something, but you can't really voice it to anybody if you want to be liked by everybody. And I'm not like that. Yeah. I can't stay quiet about how I feel about something.
Me either. Me either, especially if it's about things that I like, that I am passionate about.
So hats off to Jason Momoa for being able to, rise above all the bullshit and just pretend like he agrees with everybody. Hats off to him for that, because I can't do that. And the funny part was he'll come out and be pissed when, somebody lies about him. Like, remember when he got really mad about that Frosty the Snowman shit that came out? How mad he got over that, and he was on social media crying about that. Yeah, but you're basically promoting all these people that are backstabbing your best friend Zack Snyder. You said Zack Snyder is one of your closest friends. Is that not what you said, Jason Momoa? And you bought him a camera and you did all this stuff. Your buddy Zack, right? And then you're gonna turn around and God, James Gunn and Peter Safran, and I love you, Warner Brothers, and he's tap dancing and twerking and doing all this stuff. Look, I don't know what to say. That's why he lost. That's why he lost a lot of credit from the fandom, because the fandom thought that Jason Momoa was one of the real ones, and it turned out that he's not. He's just as fake as a lot of these others. So you can either be real like Apass and myself, or you can be fake like Jason Momoa. But either way, it's not easy to do, because people hate you when you tell the truth. People hate you when you speak out against something that you think is unjust or not right. And you just have to. And if you're gonna speak and you're gonna have a mouthpiece, you have to be willing to deal with it when you have haters coming into your chat telling you that you're a loser and that you'll never amount to anything, and that you're a lunatic and all these other things. And that's perfectly fine. I'm perfectly content with that, because I don't want to be liked by people like that anyway.
Right. Anyone that willingly defends someone like James Gunn, I don't want to be your friend. Nope.
Gunn got Momoa and Ayer in a twerk off. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's pretty much what's going on. Literally, yes. And it's not just a twerk off. I mean, it is literally like they're both like totally stripped down at this moment. They are naked to the bone, and it is just it has gotten muddy, it's gotten dirty, it's gotten sweaty. It's ridiculous at this point.
Oh God.
I mean, with the amount of kissing up that we're seeing going on right now, it's definitely not family friendly. I agree 100%.
No.
Oh my God. Hello, Koopy Malik. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Oh my God.
Thank you for being here. Yeah, thank you everybody for being here, by the way. I didn't say that at the top of the show.
This has been a beautiful stream, man. We've got so many people in here. Everybody's that's what I said, this is I don't get it. This is must see YouTube for real. We're not playing around. It's only going to get bigger from here. This is nothing. Oh my God. Who wrote the first Guardians of the Galaxy? Charles, I don't know who wrote it, but I know it wasn't James Gunn.
There were like 3, I wanna say there were 3 different writers, and one of them was a female, and
Yeah,
James
and one
Gunn actively discredited her,
did he?
I believe. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Suicide Squad made over 750 million worldwide and made over 100 million in physical media in the US. Yeah, that was
Yeah, just
the Studio Squad.
yeah, and to say again, if you're still saying that Zack Snyder destroyed DC and none of his movies made any money, you are on crack. You really are. Like, I mean, like, you're literally, like, so, like, high you're as high as a fucking kite if you literally think that. I'm sorry, like, it's just, like, there's proof that that is a lie. Like, it made more money than anything after. Like, I just, yeah. And I can assure you that Gunn, if he even makes anything with DC, it's definitely it's not gonna make nearly as much.
Oh no, there's no chance. Strong Arm
No.
Flips, what's up, my friend? He says that makes me sad. I hope Ayer didn't sell out. I really want to see the true Ayer cut, but damn, that makes a lot of sense. It's the only possible explanation. Think about it. David Ayer wants to keep working in the DC universe, right? He wants to keep making
Yeah.
movies. He's got more stories to tell. He's been kissing up to James Gunn like you wouldn't believe. He's been kissing James Gunn on the mouth. I mean, this is like the kind of stuff that you
not just kissing, French kissing.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. Tongue is definitely involved. Definitely.
Yes. Yes. Yep.
And Nessa, I wouldn't be surprised if there was attention to the rectum. I would not be surprised because this is what we're dealing with. It's on a level that we cannot comprehend or catify at this point. It's extreme.
Yes. I don't
I
even
mean,
want to think. No, yeah.
I'm just it's terrible. But it
Mhm.
also is the only way to explain why David Ayer's like this. It's like David Ayer learned nothing from Zack Snyder, learned nothing from having the support of more than 70% of the Snyder army. More than 70% of the Release the Snyder Cut crew was on board with Release the Ayer Cut. They were all there. They were all ready to fight for David Ayer. And the day David Ayer told us, don't do it. Wait for James Gunn's Suicide Squad movie to come out first and then tweet out. No, David, don't you understand that if we don't do it now, if we don't do it on the day that this movie releases, it won't have the same impact, David. We want your movie to come out. Don't you understand, you dummy? No, he wants to give respect to his friend. And look what happened. We still haven't seen the movie, and now there's a good chance that the movie could be retooled and put into the DCU.
Wow.
Zack is a different type of talent. I got so much respect for him. Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. And what I love about Zack is Zack never compromises, but he never talks about anybody. See, Zack does it right. Zack doesn't have to like everybody, but he's not going to talk bad about people. Even at Full Circle. Remember at Full Circle when Jeff Johns was brought up and the other people involved, and I think it was DJ that got up and said we don't talk about that guy, and James Gunn was just and Zack Snyder was just he didn't say anything. See, Zack's not going to say anything. He doesn't have to say anything. At least not publicly. He's not going to say anything. I would love to see what Zack says about some of these buffoons privately. But publicly you will never see Zack Snyder say nothing about any of these people. Because Zack is a professional first. That's why. That's why you'll never hear him say anything about anybody. See,
Yeah.
see,
Right.
see, with me and Apass, it's about speaking our minds and saying how we feel. What Apass and I will say privately to each other, we will have no problem coming out here and saying it live here on this stream because it's how we feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
And some like us for that because we're not afraid to be honest and tell it like it is. And some are going to hate us for that because they don't have the ability to do that.
Mm-mm.
Fast food.
They'll just make
movies.
burner accounts.
Oh, yeah. Burner accounts. Yeah. KFCU, platter of popcorn chicken. Yes, Sin Havoc.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Popcorn chicken for the masses.
Yes. Popcorn flavored chicken.
Gunn isn't even state fair cotton candy.
Oh my God, no, he's not.
Oh, I just can't stand it. I feel so bad for Gal. But I also believe your take, which is that Gal is backing him into a corner from a strategic perspective, because this isn't going to make Gal Gadot look bad. This is going to make James Gunn look bad, because if James Gunn,
worse,
it's going to make him look even worse, because Gal, like Henry, is an international superstar.
mm-hmm.
And I dare say this, that if he thought the backlash over Henry Cavill was bad,
oh, Gal's a whole nother ball game. It really is. It really is. Yeah.
I mean, we've had several other actors play Superman besides Henry Cavill, but Gal Gadot is the first time we've ever had Wonder Woman personified on the big screen. Gal Gadot is an international sensation. You're not, I mean, my God, you're not, you don't really get much bigger worldwide than Gal Gadot right now.
No,
so I would say that Gunn is really, if anything has potential to bring Gunn down, I think it's this Gal Gadot thing. And we can kind of talk about that a little bit. I think it because he's either going to be painted into a corner to where they're going to have to figure out a way to work Gal into it somehow, or if they don't use Gal, I think it has potential to bring him down. I really do.
Yeah, here's the thing.
If he's really gonna make movies, which is a whole nother thing. But
right, yeah. If this strike actually ends before the deal with whoever buys Warner Brothers Discovery, but like it's just here. The thing is, though, doesn't Gal's production company have like a deal with Warner Brothers?
Yes,
and they do. Okay, so if, like they said, there's no Wonder Woman 3 in development, that means they have to like pay up. They're gonna have to pay her off basically, and like just say like, or the ideal thing would be sell it to another third party.
Hashtag sells ESJL to Netflix. Hashtag sells Snyderverse to Netflix. I think that this is the way. I think that in all honesty, if sell happens, it's bigger than we realize, because it's going to be all encompassing. It's going to encompass Wonder Woman 3. It's going to encompass Man of Steel 2. It's going to encompass the Batfleck movie that we have yet to talk about, the end of Zack's arc, as well as Zack's Flashpoint trilogy. Because there's another rumor that I want to run by you. I didn't know if you heard this one yet. We didn't get a chance to talk about this before the show, but there's a rumor that Grant Gustin is being courted to be the DCU Flash. And there's a little bit of controversy because James Gunn, I guess, recently followed Grant Gustin on social media, and Grant Gustin recently followed James Gunn and hadn't been. And now all of a sudden there's this connection. And you know how serious people take it when a creative follows another creative on that level.
Yeah.
And now James Gunn has already come out and said that it doesn't mean that but James Gunn has lied before. James Gunn has come out and said that it's just because he likes some of Grant Gustin's work and he followed Grant and Grant followed him. It doesn't mean anything. He didn't even really address the Flash rumor. He just said that it doesn't mean anything because they followed each other. But I wouldn't put it past him. No. I believe Grant Gustin will be the DCU Flash. And that may be a controversial take, but I'm basing it on that, and I'm basing it on the fact that Gunn lies about everything.
Yeah,
so if Gunn is saying that it's not happening, I would believe if Gunn is alluding to that not being the case, I think we should take it with an absolute certainty that it is the case. That Grant Gustin's going to be the DCU Flash. 100%. So that again right there tells you everything you need to know. Grant Gustin as the Flash. Might as well bring in Michael Rosenbaum from Smallville to be Lex Luthor, because we know Michael Rosenbaum is his best buddy. Bring him in, might as well have the Smallville Lex Luthor, the CW Flash, because think about it. These movies all have to be low budget. They're not going to be, and they can't be expensive because Snyder's movies were notoriously expensive, right? But James Gunn's Superman Legacy, is it going to be expensive? We're talking about we got Walmart Superman, we got Jennifer Holland, General Holland wearing her Wonder Woman wig for Superman Legacy.
Yes.
She'll have her cameo.
Yeah. Yep. Oh my God. I mean, again, that would not shock me, because again, it shows how unoriginal James Gunn really is. If he's getting Grant Gustin to be his Flash,
I wouldn't be surprised if he wanted if he asked Henry Cavill, if he explained to Henry Cavill what he had, and Henry Cavill turned him down because they don't want to pay Henry Cavill money, and they want Henry Cavill to be a lesser Superman than the one that Zack had in mind, which is why I think that's what happened. I don't really think that it's James Gunn, that James Gunn fired Henry Cavill. I think it's that Henry Cavill looked at what James Gunn had and said, "This is BS. I'm out of here." No. Hope is not like your car keys, and I'm out. Oh boy. I mean, to be honest with you, it wouldn't surprise me at this point, because James Gunn has some stupid ideas. We know this.
Yeah. But don't you remember a couple weeks ago, Mikey was in our chat and he said that he asked Henry to be Jor-El or something?
Yeah, that's another thing I heard too, that he had. So what happened was, and I have this in the book. What happened was that James Gunn offered Superman to Henry Cavill after he gave Henry the gist of what he had in mind for Superman. And Henry didn't want to do that. Henry wasn't cool with it. And so James Gunn offered an alternative and said, well, we need a Superman for the DCU. So what we'll do is we'll bring in a younger Superman, because I was if you didn't want to do this, I was going to go a little bit younger. But I thought I would offer it to you first. This is how James Gunn talks. I'm offering it to you first because you're Superman now. But if you don't want the role, I want to go a little bit younger. And I got this idea. The idea would be to have you come in and play Jor-El. Would you be interested in Jor-El? This is why James Gunn is out there talking about they had another role in mind for Cavill. And he's on record saying this. He's on record, social media, saying that he had another role in mind for Henry Cavill. That other role is Jor-El. He wants to use Henry Cavill as Jor-El to David Cornsweat's Superman.
Oh my God.
Because Henry Cavill didn't want to do the stupid shenanigans that James Gunn wants to do with his poop fetish Superman. So there you go. That's the truth. That's the Henry Cavill bit. That's what the problem is, people. So you're hearing it here. I'm telling you, that's what the story is. Gunn, they didn't want to pay Henry Cavill money for Superman. That was the first strike. And the second strike was not even that Henry wouldn't take the pay cut. Henry just didn't like what James Gunn wanted to do with Superman. James Gunn is going to make a mockery of Superman. And I'm sorry to have cut you off. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. No, you're fine. No, that's true. He is going to make a mockery of Superman, the big galoot. But I respect Henry even more for like walking away, like knowing like that's not how I want to be this character. That's not the way I want to play this character. So I'm out.
No, he didn't want to do any of the goofy stuff that James Gunn wanted. It's not about money. It's not that Henry would not have taken the lower pay. It was going to be lower pay because the meeting started out. Gunn explained to Henry about the lower budget, that the movie is going to be lower budgeted and they have to keep it below a certain number in order to get DC back on track again. And that was the whole point. And Henry didn't have a problem with that, but when Gunn started going down the line about his stupid big galoot crap that he wanted to do for the character, Henry was that was not what Henry wanted to do. This is why Henry and Ben are like, absolutely not. There's no way. Yeah. Look, listen, Henry, and to Henry's credit, he came out and he did that beautiful Instagram post about no longer being Superman. And to his credit, he didn't come out and say James Gunn is a moron who wants to basically deface the character of Superman for his own comedic ends. He doesn't care about us. He doesn't care about you as fans. He doesn't care about the lore. I'm walking away from this crap for the same reason I walked away from the goddamn Witcher. And it's unfortunate, but this is what happens when you're passionate about something and you're a big part of it. And it is.
Henry's
it's unfortunate. Unfortunate. It's unfortunate that the studios have to run everything into the ground because they hire morons. That's what the lesson is. So for all those people that keep coming at me talking about my book is crap, that I don't know what I'm talking about, you have no idea who I've been talking to for Pause Not Stopped. You have no idea the kind of stuff I have in the book and the kind of mind-blowing stuff that's about to come out that you guys have no idea about. You all think it's about you, and you all think it's all about the trolls and the people that I didn't agree with and the vodka junkie and all these other people. I don't care about those people. It's not about them. It's about studio. It's about the studios. It's about what the studios have done to the fans. It's about what the studios have done to the talent, and it's about what the studios are continuing to do to this day. They have no respect, and you know this now because you see yourself what's going on with this strike. They literally want to replace all the actors and writers with AI. If that doesn't tell you everything you need to know, I don't know what will.
Yeah.
James Gunn is a moron, and he's going to he's making a mockery of DC. He doesn't want to make DC successful. He wants to make DC a joke. Yeah. Because that's the sweetest revenge he could possibly get. He hates us so much, and he has so much professional jealousy towards Zack Snyder. It's not even funny. Oh, yeah. It's horrible.
It's obvious.
Horrible.
It's
Is
obvious.
it
Yeah.
possible for Gunn to provide documentation that prove the goofy approach makes money? I wish he would, because I don't see how the goofy approach is going to make any money.
He'll just say Marvel. Look what I did at Marvel. I made so much money for Marvel.
Yeah, but
here's
even
the thing,
Marvel
once
isn't.
again,
Yeah, even Marvel. Even Marvel's kind of trying to pivot a little bit away from that because it's getting stale.
exactly, but like that's his ammo though, because Warner Brothers is so desperate for that. They're desperate for that Marvel money. So it's like, yeah.
Oh, Nessa, thank you. Please read this Apass.
I saw a rumor that said that James Wan is going to sue WBD. Have y'all heard anything? I've heard that rumor too.
I've heard
because
that
of all the
rumor too.
headache for the reshoots of Aquaman too. Yeah.
And guess what? It's in my book because I know more about it than I should. So I'm just going to let you know. Yes, there is truth to that. 100%. 100% there's truth
Zod,
to that.
your book is going to go nuclear.
Well, that's the thing. All the
stuff.
haters are going to, what I'm excited about, believe it or not, is all the people that hate me when they see this book. They're the ones that I'm more excited about because I want to see how they're going to be squirming and trying to justify their negative opinions when, number one, it's not about them. So if you attack my book when you read my book, you're attacking my book. You're defending the greedy studio. You're defending the greedy executives who have not only been screwing over the actors, screwing over the directors, screwing over the writers, but they've been screwing us over. They've been screwing over the crew. They've been screwing over the fans. They've been screwing the moviegoers over for decades and decades. I'm not going after individuals. I'm not going after people who, people like you and me who are just fans and have opinions. I don't care about that. That's not what this book is about. And I keep trying to tell these people that. But they want to say, "Oh no, Zod, you're just making stuff up." What it is they're afraid what I'm going to say about them. That's what they're afraid of. They're expecting there to be passages in there. And the funny part is we all have like the same groups of haters. So you all watching this all know who me and Apass are talking about. I don't even got to name names, but they're all thinking that that I'm talking about them, that they're going to be in the book, and I'm actually going to have passages dedicated to these people. And I can honestly say that there's nothing in there about any of them. It's not about that. It's about the movement itself. It's about the people that were involved in the movement. So if you weren't involved in the movement, you won't be mentioned at all. If you weren't involved in the movement, if you weren't involved in release the Snyder Cut, restore the Snyderverse, or sell ZSJL to Netflix, sell Snyderverse to Netflix, if you weren't involved in any of these campaigns, you won't be mentioned. You're only mentioned if you're involved and if you had a noteworthy part in that, and if you did something and you were, that's who's mentioned, because I'm telling a historical record of these things. But I'm not going after people. I'm not going in there saying, well, this person did that, this person did this. No, it's about fairness, and it's about what really happened. And that's what I love, because I'm sitting here thinking, yeah, okay, you can hate me all you want, talk about the book you want, but I got bigger fish to fry. I'm going after the big people, the people that are responsible for things being the way they are now, not the people that are annoyed with me or hate me because I'm a Snyder fan, or disagree with me because I argued with the vodka junkie about the special effects on Zack Snyder's Justice League. I don't care about any of that. None of that is relevant, and none of that is in the book. So sorry about the rant, but I just wanted to clear that up.
What is that you always say to me? This is the place for ranting. So
it sure is.
Yes, it is.
Sin Havoc. He says one version is with Black Manta being the main villain, and the other version cuts out Black Manta completely. Yeah. Speaking of Aquaman too. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the thing. We don't even know. James Wan still to this day does not know what version of Aquaman 2 is being released. I got him quoted in the book. Don't worry. You guys will get your James Wan fix. This is insane. This Aquaman 2 stuff is insane. It's insane.
Yeah.
This Aquaman 2, let me just give you guys a little hint. This Aquaman 2 stuff is worse than what happened to Zack Snyder. And I don't think anything is worse than I didn't think anything is worse than what happened with Zack Snyder with Justice League. From a creative perspective, this is even worse.
Whoa.
Because this studio is going off and doing things without James Wan's approval. They're going off and just doing whatever they want to do. And they're making cuts here, they're doing this. They even had another director go out and shoot some stuff too, shoot some additional material that James Wan didn't endorse. There's a lot of shenanigans going on with this Aquaman movie, people. It's going to be, James Wan doesn't even know what the hell they're going to put in theaters. He has no idea.
What a train wreck.
Oh, it's going to be ridiculous. It's going to be ridiculous. That's why I say I don't know what these people are doing. I don't know. I have no clue. I just want WBD to be sold as soon as possible. I want them to be sold. I actually, what I want WBD to be sold, and then I want to get quotes for the book from the people who will be running WB after the company gets sold. I am so about the mismanagement and the complete assholery that they have to come in and try to untangle. That's what I want to see.
Yep.
It's just ridiculous. Just goes to show how much of a weasel Gunn actually is. How this level of professionalism that goes on in a $1 billion industry like Hollywood.
Weird, man. It's real.
I gotta ask you a question, Apass. Do you think that the reason why things are like this with movies and why all these movies suck and why all these studios are afraid to take risks all has to do with the fact that there's too much money involved? They spend so much money on these movies that they expect all of them to make so much money, but they're afraid to take any kind of risks whatsoever, because this is why you have all this studio meddling. This is why you have them jumping through hoops whenever, a few man children on social media cry about Superman raping their childhood. This is what it is, because these movies cost so much money to make now. It's not just about, we're talking about billions of dollars at stake for every movie. If every movie had a reasonable budget, creatives would have more freedom, because it's not that every movie has to make $1 billion to be successful. But now that's not the case. Now every movie, if it doesn't make $1 billion, it's considered a flop.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely think the money that's involved, that has a lot to do with why we get the films that we do get. I think honestly, because I keep going back to I'm a huge I like learning about film, the film business and the film history itself, and I always go back to the silent era, before the banks got involved, and how much the creatives had basically total control over what they wanted to do, basically. like women. There was like so many women filmmakers, like wasn't a problem. And then as soon as the banks got involved, they were like, no, women don't know how to. No, not with our money. No, no women directors, or there could be writers and there could be like editors, but no directors. And then you have Greta Gerwig, literally like being like the first female to get $1 billion for her film. All these years, like over 100 years later, after like that decision was made with the banks. But it shows how like that decision like reverberated all the way till like to today. Honestly, yeah, it's just
and even Greta, as creative as she is, as creative as Barbie is, she still had to make compromises to allow certain things to be in her movie that she has no clue about. See, that's what I'm talking about. Like, okay, fine. Yeah. To her, it's just a throwaway line. But to us, it's a much more serious offense.
I did write a book. It's like I've been in a dream where I was somehow really invested in the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League. But what you said broke me out of it. Really? Yeah.
You're back. She's back.
I would love to see that group of weirdos that was in the background laughing during that clip. That's the thing I want to see. I want to see the types of people that we're dealing with, because those are the types of burner accounts that are constantly attacking us on a regular basis, Apass. Those are the people that attack you when you talk about how Henry Cavill's Superman is the definitive Superman. When you talk about Henry Cavill's Superman being definitive, giving your opinion, sharing your passion with the world on Twitter, you put that out like 2 months ago, and you've still got man children to this day coming at you, attacking you over that.
Oh yeah, I literally have that.
She's hot, but she's hot, but she's stupid. No, you're stupid.
Yeah, what kind of a comment? About? You're so hot, but you're also so stupid. Okay, so like like what the? Oh yeah, these man children that are like so obsessed with the Donner Superman.
These man children give credibility. These man children give credibility to the Barbie movie, man. A break. What are you talking about?
Oh God! Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
I don't get it. I don't get it.
I don't get it either. I don't. I don't get it.
I don't get it.
Hello, this is J. Robert Oppenheimer, and you are watching I Don't Get It, featuring Apass and ZodWriter. Please like, share, and subscribe.
Oh, that never gets old. That never gets old.
Oh, that reminds me. All right, anybody that's in the chat right now, think of like certain people, like either historical figures or celebrities or whatever, that you would like to hear like Oppie, like, because we want to like do some different things with that. So if you have any ideas,
a different drop a week promoting I Don't Get It from a different celebrity or historical figure. Yes.
Yeah, we have one already for the next one too.
Yeah,
we have one picked, but just for future stuff. Be curious to hear what you guys want to see.
ZodWriter and Apass, did you see the report about the studio heads taking the actors' likenesses already? A contract signed a couple of years ago.
Yes, I think I have heard of that. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why we're here now. That's why there's a strike going on now. That's why this is so, like I said, this is the most important entertainment-related strike of our lifetime, because AI really will, within the next few years, be advanced enough for them to have any actor, any actress they want. do and say whatever. You know, you'll be able to spit it out with prompts. No problem. It's coming.
Oh my God.
Oh. Oh, it's so
Literally.
true. It's so true.
Literally.
Great
Great
value. I just had a great value pizza the other day. Great value. Oh, and that pizza's actually pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I was eating it up. I was enjoying that great value pizza. Nice thick,
Probably has
nice
some good stuff.
thick crust. I mean,
Yes, but not Great Value Superman. No thanks. I don't want that. Nope. Mm-mm.
King George with the $1.99 super chat. Can't
Thank you,
forget
King George.
bat nips and credit cards. Yeah.
Oh, never forget.
No, never forget. And
That's
hey,
what Gunn's going for.
yeah. That's why I say Clooney. I mean, maybe Clooney will be his Batman. I mean, he lies about everything. So, I mean, if he lied about Gal Gadot,
I bet you. Because I mean, I do think no matter who would be in charge, like Gal just really loves the character of Wonder Woman, that she will like be willing to work with whoever that person may be. But like at the same time, I can see, like, if you're saying like that exclusive that we got about the conversation between Cavill and Gunn and how that all went down. I'm wondering if Gal got a similar thing, and then she like was like, well, I don't know if I'm like if I really want to do this, but I have a deal with the studio to make this third film, so I need to keep that in mind.
Well,
you know, like she
from what I've heard about Gal and the Wonder Woman situation, it went down just exactly the way Gal Gadot said it went down, which was they told her that they were going to work on something with her together, Gunn and Safran, and they were going to work out in Wonder Woman 3, and that Patty Jenkins had stepped down. It was just like what she said. I didn't hear anything about Gunn making the same kind of offer like he did with Henry. But he made that offer to Henry only because Henry didn't want to take Superman in the direction that Gunn wants to take Superman. That's the only reason. If he would have agreed to Gunn's wackiness, he'd still be Superman. But because Gunn wanted to go in a wacky direction and wanted to do some different things with Superman that contradict the very nature of what Superman is, Henry said no. And that's when he offered him Jor-El. He literally offered him Jor-El like almost immediately after he turned down Superman. So it shows that, Gunn is just desperate. The thing is, Gunn needs to win. That's why Gunn was so insistent on Ben Affleck. That's why Gunn was, we got something in line with Ben. We're working with Ben. We're trying. We just need to find the right project for him. And the reason why he's doing that is because he needs some kind of a win because he's getting all this backlash. So he needs to do something to ingratiate some of the Snyder fandom to him. And when that didn't work, now the Ben Affleck stuff didn't work either because Ben came right out and deflected and said absolutely not, as you and I are so fond of pointing out. Yeah. And now look at this Gal Gadot stuff. This could have been a win for Gunn if you think about it, because even people that were confused and didn't think it was a good idea for him to keep Gal if he got rid of everybody else. That's pretty much what everybody was saying. You can't keep Gal if you're going to get rid of everyone else, because then that just goes to show that you have a bias against these people over here, but you're fine with this person, and this person. Well, the thing is that it's exactly what we said before. He never intended to keep Gal Gadot. He never intended to keep any of the Snyderverse characters. The only people he was going to keep are the ones he brought in, and not even all of them, just the ones that he likes. just the ones that are really close to him. So you're talking about his wife, Jennifer Holland, you're talking about
His brother.
his brother, Weasel.
How's that boycott working out for you guys?
Oh yeah, Mr. Agee,
Yeah.
Agee. I
Whatever the
don't
hell
know
his
if it's
name is.
pronounced. I don't know if
one
it's pronounced
cares.
Agee or Aggie. I really don't care. Gunn wanted Henry Cavill to play Jor-El and Ben Affleck to play Thomas Wayne. No, he didn't. No, to Gunn's credit, he didn't want Ben Affleck to play a character in the DCU. He wanted Ben Affleck behind the camera because Ben Affleck is a competent filmmaker, and he needs competent filmmakers. Gunn. Yeah, he needs competent filmmakers in the DCU. Gunn can't direct every movie. Gunn would like to. He's a big enough narcissist to have that be the case where he directs every movie, but he can't. Humanly, he cannot direct every movie. So he has to bring in good filmmakers. But it seems like he's getting turned down by good filmmakers left and right. Good filmmakers are telling him where to go. So, I mean, you notice how he hasn't said anything about Ben Affleck because he can't spin Ben because Ben came out publicly and debunked him. So what's he going to do? Come out and call Ben a liar? Ben just flat out said he doesn't want to work with him and he's not interested in doing whatever it is they're going to do over at the DCU. Ben's not interested in that wacky BS. So now we can transition a little bit, since we're talking about Ben, into Batfleck. We were literally about to get, and there's a lot of Ben Affleck movie, pause not stop stuff I got, and we're going to talk about it here because this is I Don't Get It, and on I Don't Get It, we just tell it like it is. Guys, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'm going to be calm. I'm going to be as just honest and try not to get emotional because from what I know about the movie that we were about to get, I'm almost in tears. The movie would have been a masterpiece. We are talking about a Batman movie that would have basically took Batman. It would have been a story at the very heart and the very core of the Batman character. Not just Batman himself, but Bruce Wayne, the Wayne family, the psyche of Batman, the trauma of Batman. And it would have been dealt with in a way that has never been done on film before. From what I know about the movie, and I'm going to try not to give it away because there's a lot of little details that I know now. The movie, it would have been the greatest Batman movie of all time. It really would have. And Jay Oliva, the storyboard artist, is on record saying that. There's several other people. There's even some Batman writers and artists who have come out on Twitter and praised this script as the best Batman script ever written. And from what I know of it, I truly believe that. And I truly believe that that's what we would have gotten. And we were so close to getting it too. See, and now this goes into the stuff that I know about the behind the scenes stuff that happened that's in Pause Not Stopped, where they basically pushed Ben Affleck out because the studio was so hot on Matt Reeves over the Planet of the Apes trilogy that they wanted him to come in and direct a Batman movie. And what a lot of people don't know is when Matt Reeves first came in, the studio intent was for Matt Reeves to work with Ben Affleck because the studio liked Ben Affleck's script. One of the main villains in the new Batman script with Ben Affleck was going to be Deathstroke. And I think a lot of people know that already, but that was who was, and I say one, because although on the surface level, it looks like Deathstroke is the main villain, I won't give it away. Deathstroke is not the main villain in this story, but Deathstroke is the surface level main villain. So you have Deathstroke. This was going to be such an amazing story, but they wanted Ben Affleck to be Batman, and they wanted Matt Reeves to be the director, and they were trying to get Matt Reeves to be willing to work with Ben Affleck and trying to get him to be willing to do that script. But see, Matt Reeves had the upper hand because the studio was convinced, because of Planet of the Apes, that anything that Matt Reeves touches turns to gold. So they were almost willing to do whatever they had to get Matt Reeves on board. So to make a long story short, Matt Reeves didn't want to do what Ben Affleck wanted. Matt Reeves wanted to do his own thing. And the studio really wanted him to do the Affleck thing. And so Matt Reeves said, okay, I'm walking. I'm out. And the studio, being the studio, begged him to come back. Yes, begged like a dog. They begged him to come back, begged Reeves to come back, and then turned around and threw Ben Affleck under the bus. It said, sorry, Ben, we're not going with your idea. Matt Reeves has another idea he wants to go with. He wants to go with a key element between like Reeves and Gunn, right? He wants to go with somebody younger, wants to tell a different story. We're going to hedge our bets with Matt Reeves. So Ben Affleck, a lot like Henry Cavill, did like a graceful exit, got the hell out of there, and made room for Matt Reeves. Now, the closest thing I have to you guys out there being able to independently verify any of this is that there is a tweet out there when Ben Affleck was still working on the Batman, which, by the way, was the title of the movie, by the way. So not only did Matt Reeves successfully end up usurping Ben Affleck as Batman for the next project, but he ended up taking Ben Affleck's title for the movie too, because Ben Affleck's title was the title was rotating between being called Shadow of the Bat and the Batman, but it most likely would have been called the Batman, and Matt Reeves took that title and ran with it. So, but there's a tweet where when Matt Reeves first comes on board, and the studio wants to connect Ben Affleck and Matt Reeves and wants them to work together. And I believe that there's a tweet from Ben Affleck, or there was a tweet from Ben Affleck congratulating Matt Reeves, or an Instagram post where he welcomes Matt Reeves to the Batcave or something like that.
Yes, I remember that.
But that was when the two of them were working together on the project. So there's your proof. The two of them were supposed to work together, and they were going to concoct this brilliant Batman script, which was going to be the greatest Batman film of all time. But instead, we got the Batman with Robert Pattinson. So yeah,
you mean
so that's
Tiny
another.
Tim Pattinson?
Yeah, so that's another. That's another unfortunate casualty and bad decision. What's up, PD7? How you doing, man?
PD7. Wow. I mean, what? Oh my God!
It just keeps getting better and better. Yeah, it does. It does. It's unbelievable to me. I really, that's why I say I don't, it's not people, okay? It's not individuals. I don't care about trolls. I don't care about, people who disagree with me ideologically or otherwise. I'm interested in the studio executives who are responsible for screwing everything up. The studio itself. If you ask me, Warner Brothers shouldn't even be a studio anymore. It should be absorbed into something else and renamed entirely, because they've just tarnished the name so badly that there's no point in even continuing on. The studio, they need to go away altogether. It's horrible what's happened. Ben Affleck went through it. Zack Snyder went through it. David Ayer went through it. James Wan is going through it. Patty Jenkins went through it. Every DC director has gotten a movie taken away from them at this studio. Every single one of them. Every single one of them. And the only reason Matt Reeves even made the Batman, the only reason the Batman even happened, was because the studio chose to throw Ben Affleck under the bus and bet on Matt Reeves because of the success of the Planet of the Apes movies. They were convinced that Matt Reeves was going to make the greatest Batman movie of all time, with or without Ben Affleck in the role. And there wasn't any reason why he couldn't have worked with Ben Affleck and made that movie. They could have made that movie together. That was the intent. But no, Matt Reeves had to do his own thing.
Had to out Nolan.
I had to out Nolan. And by the way, Matt Reeves didn't even get what he wanted for the Batman. He still had to capitulate to the studio in one way. His pick for Batman was Nicholas Hoult, and the studio forced him to go with Robert Pattinson.
Nicholas Hoult would have been so much better.
In that particular story, I could totally see Nicholas Hoult as Batman.
Yes.
It would have fit with what Matt Reeves was going for. I agree with that 100%. I don't like the story and I don't like what he did, but I still think that Nicholas Hoult would have been a better Batman. I could tell you that. But yeah, that's exactly what. So he had to capitulate. And all those stories and rumors about Robert Pattinson and
Zoe Kravitz.
No. What's the director's name again?
Oh.
Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson not getting along. All those rumors about them two constantly clashing during filming. All those rumors are true. I have some quotes from some people who actually worked on that movie. I have some quotes for the book as well about the two of them not getting along. So they're in there.
Wow.
Cavill as Jor-El because Cavill is just too old for Superman. Yep. That's what we're supposed to be. That's what we're supposed to believe. Cavill doesn't even look old. Nope. But
no, he doesn't.
But see, Gunn knew that if he couldn't sell his version of Superman to Cavill, that was his ace in the hole. His ace in the hole was, okay, I'll offer him Jor-El. I respect Henry for walking away and Ben for letting James Gunn know he's not doing anything in his universe. Absolutely. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And this is what I love about these actors and these creatives. Everything that we know about Henry, Gal, Ben Affleck, Ray Fisher, Wayne T. Carr, they're all about the actual art itself. They're all about the process. They're all about quality. You can't just give them BS and tell them, oh yeah, you're going to say this BS and we're going to pay you. No, it doesn't work that way. You have to give us quality. We're not going to tarnish our reputation for being in your BS. Ben Affleck wanted to jump out of a window over his experience with Joss Whedon in Justice League. Do you honestly think that he would have worked with, he wanted to work with Matt Reeves on the movie we got? Come on, man. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I forgot Gunn said Superman reminds him of himself. He said so many lame things on Twitter, it's honestly hard to keep track of at this point.
Daniel Martin.
Care to comment?
Daniel Martin. I remember that tweet so vividly that it literally made me want to vomit when I read it. I was like, this says it all to me, what he's doing with Superman. That Superman reminds him of himself. So that should tell everybody everything right off the bat. Just like, I'm out. Not that I even was gonna give his movie a chance, but like that was just that really put the nail in the coffin for me.
Sid Havoc. Care to read that? Apass.
It's crazy that all this info about the WBD madness I knew about, people kept saying I was wrong, a conspiracy theorist and a Zack Snyder cultist. Everything now is proving me right. Yep. No, I get that. Hashtag I told you so. Yep.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm not I'm not lying. And all the stuff that I'm getting is true. It's straight from the horse's mouth in a lot of places. And I honestly feel like at this point, people need to open their eyes and wake up. That's why I say this strike, I hope this strike goes on long enough for Superman Legacy to never happen.
Yeah, I hope so too.
I'll be sorry for all of the actors and all of the people that are, receiving, their regular paychecks from it and all that stuff. I would feel bad for them, but I just feel like at this point, that's what needs to happen. This can't happen. We don't need this. This is a bad move. And we've seen enough evidence of what James Gunn is going to do. We know who James Gunn is. And you know what? Apass? I don't know if you're thinking what I'm thinking, but you know what? I think the audience needs to see something. They need to see an example and a reason why James Gunn is so bad for DC. You see, our worst fears have been realized. This is a man who came from trauma. And if you don't know anything about trauma, it's a disgusting horror/comedy genre of films that is designed to gross you out. It's designed to be as just vile and as detestable as humanly possible on film that they can get away with. And there was something that James Gunn made. He did a pilot episode for a little TV show on, I think it was aired on Xbox, if I'm not mistaken. Xbox had it as video content. God only knows why. But I tracked it down courtesy of the Internet Archive, which is a free place online where you can go and legally download content or videos or games or whatever that are no longer available on any form, and nobody is making money off of it. So there's nothing copyright written, nobody owns it, and it's basically the internet. If you don't know what the Internet Archive is, it's like the planet's biggest library of abandoned content. And I just think that this is an important article. So if the show gets shut down temporarily when we show this, or if the stream gets taken down, I will we'll stop it and we'll come back. But hopefully you guys will get to see enough of it before it gets taken down to get the idea. Because after you've watched it's only 7 minutes in length, but after you've watched a few minutes of it, you'll have gotten the gist and understand. So I don't know. Apass, you think we should share a little bit of James Gunn's past? And this isn't from that long ago, by the way. This is actually this was released in 2008. So wasn't this around the time that that all those inappropriate tweets were put out? Are you muted, Apass, or are you muted?
Sorry, I didn't realize I was. Yeah.
Yeah, you were just nodding your head. I didn't know if you were saying anything. I had
No, yeah, I think it started around that time. Yeah. Those tweets.
Zod, you like Aurelio's pizza? No, I'm not really a big fan of Aurelio's pizza. PD7, can't wait for the book. I can't wait for the book either. I think you guys are all going to love it. The haters won't even get an epilogue in Zod's book. No, they're not. They're not. Actually,
not even a footnote.
Not even a footnote. I'm not mentioning them. See, and that's a great part. I just don't think people realize I don't care enough about you to hate you. And that's the thing. People that hate me actually hate me. But if you hate me, you have to care about me to a certain extent to hate me. And that makes me feel good because you're wasting your time. I'm not wasting mine. I'm surrounded by people that I love. I'm surrounded by people who love me and like me. So I don't care. I'm not interested in going back and forth with haters. This is why I limit my time on social media, because it irks me. There's really no point in even being on there anymore to the degree of that arguing with people. I mean, I learned that from when I was posting stuff and from when I'm seeing Apass post all this great stuff, sharing her feelings and being passionate and getting ridiculed 2 months later for tweets that are from a long time ago. It makes no sense. The threads are ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
$4.99 from King George. Goatfleck should also sue since they didn't credit him in the Flash. The Flush. Well, King George, just so you know, there was talk for a while about that being just the case. That Ben Affleck and a couple of the other actors were thinking about
Gal
it.
wasn't credited, right?
Gal wasn't credited either. The only Snyder actor that was credited outside of Ezra Miller was Jeremy Irons. Alfred. The rest were not credited. So I think it was because even George Clooney wasn't credited. So I think it was just everybody was considered either a cameo or an extended cameo. And that's how they were allowed to get away with not crediting them.
Yeah.
But I still think they should have got credited.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, don't worry, Nessa. You got all of you guys that know me and that are in my circle. You guys are all gonna be like the first people to get the book, for sure, before it even goes to print, because there's gonna be a lot of you guys. I'm just gonna want to know your opinions and if there's things that you think I may have forgotten, and because there's a lot of stuff that I want to put in the book. I've got so much material. There's a lot of stuff that I just don't think will be in it because there just isn't enough time. I want to get the book done eventually. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to have it all in one book. It may end up either being having less stuff than I want in it, or it might end up being 2 books. There's a possibility of it being 2 books just because of the sheer amount of content, but I don't know. Gal Gadot was offered the role of Hippolyta for Wonder Woman Paradise Lost. No, they didn't offer her that. They didn't offer her that because they know she's too. That's funny, but they didn't offer her that because they know she's too valuable as a talent. They can't
Yeah.
offer her that. They have to either offer her Wonder Woman or replace. That's why they told her that they would work something out with her, because they know they can't just throw her away, so they have to give her something. She's too big of a star. They can't do that. They made that mistake with Henry, and they couldn't bait Henry. And the only reason they got away with Henry, they got away with it. Now, they didn't get away with it from the fans, but the reason why they were able to get away with it, from a legal and perspective, is because it was Henry that told them what to do, and then Henry exited gracefully. You see, that's why. Henry is not looking to argue with you. Henry's got too much to do. You really think Henry wants to sit there and play your goofy, big galoot version of Superman? You really think that after the brilliant epic that Superman was getting from Zack Snyder, the rise, fall, and redemption of a hero, do you really think that this is that he was going to go chase after those car keys like Joss Whedon? I don't think so. Please.
No.
Stop. They need to stop. This is why another way you can kind of allude to me telling you the truth is because who did they cast as Superman? They cast a Henry Cavill lookalike. Why did they cast a guy that looks almost exactly like Henry Cavill and not use Henry Cavill? Because they asked Henry Cavill, and Henry Cavill didn't want to do the stupid shit that they wanted him to do. So they got the guy that looked like him to do it. This guy looks like he could be Henry's brother, for Christ's sake.
Literally.
Henry's younger brother. That's it. It's so obvious.
Yeah.
You're going to get so much hate. I've seen it already when you were posting clips online. Oh yeah. Yeah, all these people, they all simp for the studio. They all simp for the studio and act like they're doing something right by cheering for the studio and by, defending these studio executives. What are you getting defending people that are literally making millions of dollars? You're working at Subway and you're cutting lawns for a living, and you're defending guys that are making millions of dollars that don't even know you're alive.
Right.
Give me a break. Ugh. 199 super chat question. When does your book come out? Well, thank you very much.
Thank
for
you.
the 199 super chat. My targeted release for the book is by the end of next year. I want to try to have it out in time for the end of 2024. But the problem is that everything that we're going through right now is so fluid. And now with the strike, that's pushing a lot of stuff back. So we don't know what's going to happen, what's not going to happen. I have a desired ending in mind for the book. I have a certain direction I want to have it, a note that I want to end it on. But because there's still a lot of things I don't know, and there's still some stuff I'm waiting to hear back from certain people. I'm waiting to get quotes back from certain people too. This book is very, very comprehensive, and I believe that anybody who really reads it is going to, that has an open mind, is going to understand that it was worth the wait, and is going to really appreciate the attention to detail that I put into it. Because I'm not just trying to write something that is, just, if it was just my opinion and it was just my views, it probably would have been out a long time ago. But because I'm going to the length of actually reaching out to people that were actually there, that were actually involved, getting quotes from people who worked for the studio at the time, getting quotes from extras who were on sets for these various movies, from people who know what happened behind the scenes, from some former executives, various people. It's very comprehensive. There's so much stuff. And let's see. I just I just want it to be comprehensive. That's all. And I'm not trying to drag it out because I really wish I could have had it out already. It was my hope to have it out. And you know what? I thought about it. Me and Apass, we were gonna show the James Gunn trauma video, but maybe we'll do that on the next show because this show has been going for over 3 hours and we don't want it to go too late. So I kind of want to, I think we should hold off because I think there'll be a lot to say about that. So maybe we'll talk about it.
That video.
Thank you again for the $9.99 super chat. Costello's Way. I don't think they are going to have the money to make Superman Legacy. If these flop hard, WBD stocks will free fall, and no investor will want to put money into a sinking ship. And DCU soap opera drama will continue. Yeah, I think we're very close to not getting those movies. I think those movies will be gone. What's up, 19K? Fox WB is to blame for this DCEU mess.
100%.
They can't go 3 movies without a reboot. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. It's terrible. It is absolutely terrible, 19K Fox. They can't commit to anything.
No. Mm-mm.
Oh.
Nope.
Oh my God. I feel so bad for everybody involved. Everybody getting suckered. Everybody getting suckered by James Gunn and his snake oil. I can't.
Honestly,
I don't get it. He doesn't have a plan. He doesn't.
Mm-mm. Nope. He's only ever delivers for Marvel. You know what I mean? Like, he should have just stayed there. That is the wheelhouse that he works well in.
Oh, Kevin Clausen says, what did the loaf of bread say to Batman? Rye so serious.
That was a good one.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well, you know what? Me and Apass are going to give our final thoughts now and wrap up tonight's episode of I Don't Get It. First of all, I just want to say thank you to the chat. Thank you to everybody for being here. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the participation. Thank you for everything. You guys make I Don't Get It such a wonderful, wonderful show to do. I mean, Apass, I would be doing this stream with Apass even if I had one watcher. But the fact that there's been consistently all throughout, there's been at least 40 of you here at all times. It's been fantastic tonight. And you guys haven't seen anything yet. There's big things coming for I Don't Get It. This is going to remain must-see YouTube. And that's why we do it once every couple of weeks, because we want to wait for multiple topics to come in before we come to you so that we have plenty to talk about.
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And your final thoughts, Apass?
Yeah, well, I think it's fair to say that James Gunn is a liar. And Gal was telling the truth. And that the only way that we'll get to see any sort of respect for these characters is #sell. That's the only way. And to see these actors play those characters. So please, if you haven't shown support for it yet, please do now, because it literally is the only way.
It's the only way. And you know what? I got some stuff to say about the Sell campaign, but I will bring that up the next time you see me and Apass on I Don't Get It. So we'll have plenty more to talk about. And next show, for sure, we will show the James Gunn material. I'm sorry
Yes.
about that, but I didn't realize that we were over the 3-hour mark, and I'm trying
Me
to
either.
make it not go that long. So King George says for $1.99, WB, the Simps and Minions are at fault for DC.
Yep.
And you
Yep.
are right, 100%. So thank you, everybody, for being here. This has been a great show, has been fantastic. You guys are wonderful. Special shout out to our newest moderator, Nessa. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you, Darth Plato. Thank you, everybody. And good night, everybody.
Good night.
Hello, this is J. Robert Oppenheimer, and you are watching I Don't Get It, featuring Apass and ZodWriter. Please like, share, and subscribe.